Dire team pick.
Very scary to play into.
Team pick.
And we saw how effective Windblight was on that storm earlier, and there is the puck still indeed.
Yeah, I think you needed something to help, like, just put some lockdown on some of these heroes. You needed some more magic burst damage. So you needed the control against the storm. You needed the lane matchup. And then on top of that, anything that would help allow this blood right to land.
5 seconds remaining.
Right, what boxes need does that last hero need to tick? Empire have a full 2 minutes left in their bonus time to think about this. Or, you know, maybe they want to grab a glass of water or whatever. They have time for that too.
They've demanded silence in the draft.
Just go Jug, please.
Ooh,
Luna.
Okay, sure.
Speaking of heroes that haven't been...
Luna?
What?
Didn't they try Luna in, like, their first series?
Yep, they tried Luna against Virtus.pro. Empire did. It was not successful.
Nope. Yeah.
I don't think there's been a lot of people that are successful on the Luna, though, so I'm not sure if that's a complete surprise there. Brian, yeah, I see a big frown on your face after this last big Luna. Talk to us.
What really bothers me, I've talked about it in previous drafts, is that they have a Timbersaw who, once he gets like level 7 or 8, he wants to be played around so that he can be enabled to take towers. Storm Spirit's going to want the Earth Spirit CM to play with him for kills. So I really imagine that they needed a core that just they left alone, let it do its thing. It may show up to some fights and then push some towers. So in that regard, like, Luna's okay. But I'm concerned that this Luna is just going to get picked on. Once Nyx is 6, Nature's Prophet gets some levels up. Puck has coil. I feel like there's no save. They can just throw everything on this Luna in the early to mid game, kind of let the Timbersaw have his own game. And sometimes rather than picking on the Timbersaw, you can just say, well, that's a Timbersaw. Let's go ruin their win condition. And that's why I usually like to pick self-sustained survivable heroes when I have a Timbersaw. So I'm skeptical of this Luna pick. I really don't like it, but maybe it'll work out.
Maybe it will work out. I have also got the stat that so far in the CIS division, both upper and lower, there's been 3 Lunas picked total, 0 victorious cap.
Yeah, it's not been going great.
No.
But I think it's pretty underrated. I think, sure, it's only 3 games, 3 losses, but if you put it in the right game, I think it can excel. This is the type of game where you play behind the timber, you play more sacrificial in the idea of early map pressure. You like to buy early BKB, and the Storm with, like, you're pretty much playing for every core, having 2 items, and you're ending the game. If you're playing longer than that, you've made a mistake and you're probably going to lose. But I think they have a really strong, cohesive, end the game quick timing that we saw in game 2. So
yeah, I will say that I think their lineup is supposed to create a decent amount of space. And somebody who does gobble up a lot of space. Mask man. But we're still leading with Live to Win, though.
All right, let's find out if this Luna can break the curse, or maybe Live to Win is going to take this victory 2-1. We're finding out together with Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Let's find out indeed. Game 3 here, ready to go. The deciding match between Empire and Live to Win. And Fogged, we're getting some of these old school carries in from both of the sides, Anti-Mage and Luna. What do you reckon sort of about these 2 heroes right now, and which one do you think is going to have the easier time of taking the victory here?
I hate to say it, but even though I hate this hero a lot, I'm going to really just be adamant about that. I think Anti-Mage has a very, very tough place to find himself in games, but this looks like a pretty good Anti-Mage game. If Empire starts to fall behind it on this game, this AM is going to just take over. He has great matchups versus pretty much everybody. Even Luna, the carry matchup, it's not good for Luna. Unless you're the one you have to end the game, like I think like T was saying, 2 items. You have to just be the one pretty much hitting racks. Otherwise, AM is going to out-farm you, and he's going to kill you every single time. You or the Storm has very good core matchups. Definitely a little concern for Empire, but let's see if they can take advantage of Anti-Mage. That's what I always like to see. I think this hero is super weak at the moment, except versus very particular.
I mean, and as we saw, you know, this Luna has been something that Empire has tried before. It's obviously something they like. What do you think the logic was in picking it this game? Like, what do they think this final pick's going to be able to achieve for them?
Taking the towers, putting the pressure on the buildings, that's entirely what they were lacking. I guess that's what their thought is. It does give you the 35 damage for you and all your heroes, so when everybody is hitting buildings, it's going to be a lot better than that. Besides that, I don't see too much, and I guess the fact that you're going to farm faster than the AM early game, but AM will eventually catch up to you. I'm worried, but we'll see if they can make it work. As also, JJ did point out to me, no other region in the DPC has picked Luna. It's only EU and CIS, and it is 0-4.
That's pretty wild.
I
I mean, there must be something that these teams believe about, you know, really believe in it.
Well, how about you look at this? This is something. Look at Dream and Afterlife right now. They're just hogging in the jungle at the
Radiant's
moment.
bottom tower is under attack.
Again, all about these lane matchups. This seems to be the big thing with these two teams, about getting that exact lane that they do want. And the AM is going to be able to meet up top with versus that Timber, and Bloodseeker will meet bottom. But Luna's already gotten a whole wave by the time Bloodseeker gets down there.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's a lane that kills can definitely be had here from Empire with the 3 of them down.
That's also another power of Luna, is if you just tri-lane. I guess that's the other thing I didn't really think about, is if you just have a tri-lane with this hero, it's very strong, and you leave a solo hero like a Timbersaw on his own. Petu, he'll struggle a bit up here because it is the AM.
See how things go between Gwyn and FN. As we saw the last game, now FN, he got a lot of farm on the puck, but wasn't able to have too much of an impact, really.
No, he didn't really. He just farmed literally the entire game. He didn't really cast many coils. I think I counted back. I think he only has 3 coils in that whole. So, bottom is the tri-lane action. Afterlife. Can he get away?
Radiant's courier
Gonna be able to keep him
has
covered
been
there
killed.
with the impale.
Radiant's
wait, what the-
courier has been killed.
The creeps just killed both couriers.
Wait, what?
It walked right through the dire creep wave, and the creeps literally just killed him.
All right, easy couriers.
Easy money for the dire side, as Eknard and both Smiling Knight will lose theirs to some creeps. As we see Eknard, he gets the points in his 2 abilities rather than getting the Arcane Aura early, and this is going to be a really tough lane for Live to Win to get much of anything down here. Bloodseeker, 0 last hits, and I don't think it's going to get much easier for him.
Yeah, he's got to be smart with his blood rights. Try and get a CS with that, really. That seems like his best bet. As Roland, Immersion, he looks pretty dead here. First blood for Empire. The tri-lane, it's doing exactly what it needs to, and more. I mean, it couldn't really be going any better, this tri-lane setup and what it's achieving down here.
And sure, Petu is not getting absolutely everything top, but he's got 9 last hits, and he's already at the level 3. So you see their harassment is just tickling him. He's out of mana, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, this tri-lane setup is actually working really well. Immersion not able to get in between to cut any creeps because of this Earth Spirit's positioning. So they're gonna get like pretty much nothing down here. I wonder what they're gonna actually do to get something, because if they just keep this tri-lane down here, these 2 heroes are gonna be pretty much shut down throughout the entire early game. And they're pretty important. As we were saying, Empire really wants to be playing ahead during the entirety. If they just take out 2 heroes significantly, it's gonna be a really good mark for them. Yeah, they just have to watch. Look, they can't even approach the creep wave whatsoever. Still 0 last hits for Afterlife.
I mean, how do they fix this? I mean, they can't change the lane, right? They can't, because this is what they wanted, kind of, right? They wanted Dream up top against the Timber.
That's like almost, do you want to just make your move and put a 3rd hero up top as mid? Gwyn FN is able to find the rune, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to kill him unless they get some godly blocks, which they kind of are.
That's Snakeye doing his best, as yeah, that'll get the kill. Say you're not able to do enough there to keep Gwyn safe.
Very nice. Huge from Seneko. Nice rotation too, as he's not really helping top anyway, so it's a free move for him. And now because of the rotation from Earth Spirit, Bloodseeker and Nyx are actually able to get something.
Oh, he's gonna get a CS.
Work out. Is he?
He's gonna get a CS, I believe. There you go, he got a few from the Blood Right, and as you say, he's got this wave and a half underneath the tower. So finally, Afterlife able to get a bit of farm in this game.
Things have been salvaged. Pretty much just because Seiyu actually rotated to help out his Storm and wasn't able to. So a little bit of a mismove from the Earth Spirit, allowing a kind of a double mistake in a way. He doesn't pressure bottom when they have double wave, and he doesn't help his Storm either. Bounty runes.
Are scanning.
Neko's actually TPing in to take this one away too. 2 for 2. And now they're definitely looking to dive bottom. There's a creep wave coming in. They don't want to go under the tower, but if they step up at all past it, they can look to get these kills. As Afterlife does have 10 wand charges. Same thing for Immersion. So they're quite a bit tankier. If they go too much farther forward, though, if they can get 2 Lucent Beams off during the chase out, they should be able to have it. They're being careful.
See out. far out. Live to Win does want to come with this creep wave. So okay,
They actually rotate. Oh, okay. This is a good move here. This is unexpected too. Right when they had no vision of the puck. They're gonna throw the scan though. They actually get him. Nice read of the map there by Empire.
Thanks.
anything with this now. It's safe.
I like the attempt at the move though, because Luna is so vulnerable early on to any heroes that get on top of her, like a puck, which just forces that. So I do like the attempt at rotation. They'll find Eknart. Might just settle for this.
No.
He's going to be coming in from Gwen. They're going to look for the counter play. As Gwen, he's trying to get a grab onto FN, won't be able to do so, so they'll have to settle for Seneko.
Not on my
All right,
watch.
top. Petu is actually starting to put the pressure onto Dream here. The 0 mana, but he is level 6 with Mango Soul Ring. AM has to give some respect to it. Petu's done really well up top.
Radiant's
I thought he would
middle
actually
tower
get
is
slowed
under
down a little
attack.
more, but nope, doesn't matter. He picks up there.
And that bit of burst against Dream each time he steps in.
Yeah, Dream can't
Radiant's
actually start
middle
poking him,
tower
and that
is under
arcane aura is
attack.
starting to build up. Now he's able to hit him a few times, but Mango's
Radiant
out.
structures
Dream
are fortified.
will get forced away from the tower again, and a big creep wave that Petu's going to be able to use to
Radiant's
pressure this
middle
tower with the
tower
catapult.
is under attack.
Same
to win.
time,
Dire's
bottom.
top
Yep.
tower is under attack.
You can run down Eknart. No, not with Smiling Knight by his side. There's definitely going to be something though, right? That the Smiling Knight. Okay, how's he doing? He's actually not doing too bad on levels, despite most of it.
Dire's structures are
For the entirety of this laning stage between the three of them.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that he is almost level 6 down here with that split. Afterlife is almost level 5 on the counterpart, the opposing this offlaner here. So he's still Afterlife's doing a lot better than I thought he was going to from the start of that, but not in comparison to Petu. Petu's having a much freer time and actually just really taking down this tower. Look at this. He's got it down to half health already.
Okay,
What if they're just going to let him do this?
I mean, is this Timber killable if a rotation comes in? Can you punish him for this, or do you just have to let him do it?
With the AM mana
Dire's
void, I believe
top
they can.
tower is
If he's
under
completely out of mana, then they actually do have some nice burst damage for him, but it's looking pretty hard. They're actually just going to give it up, not going to make the call, FN. He's just going to chill in the mid lane, finish up his Veil. And tower's going to die. So Petu,
Dire's top tower has fallen.
great stuff for being on his own.
Again, in a lane setup that was a lane setup that Live to Win wanted to do against Empire. It's definitely not achieved anything in terms of slowing down this Timber.
No, definitely not. And this, like we said, they want to play ahead on the side of Empire. Gold is pretty even, Experience slightly leading them, and this is a good moment for them right now. AM is going to just start having to back up and never be able to join these fights besides a mana void. So now they can really start swinging around and looking for fights. Just the biggest thing is keep tabs on FN. He's kind of the only one that can do
Radiant's
anything to your
middle tower
lineup
is
on
under
Empire.
attack.
So if they know where FN is, they can make some nice moves around it.
Haste.
I mean, and if they are... Oh, mid.
Oh, mid. Who's getting the first move? Immersion.
If they can keep him alive, and they're going to be able to do so. They actually keep him alive.
The raindrop. It actually.
I mean, it made up the
protects him.
difference because, you know, they were holding him down very nicely for the Dream Coil into the silence. They got the stun off as well with the Impact, but not quite enough.
Balanced item, that raindrop early game. So good versus a hero like Puck. I think he actually blocks he blocked 2 instances of damage even with it because
it
of
was
the
that
coil
long,
earlier.
yeah.
And then later on, yeah, very nicely done. As Petu goes mid, and now he's going to look to siege this tower down too.
No!
Bottom. Going for immersion. Afterlife able to Mara to be safe. Still low though, and Quinn. Ooh.
Ooh.
He's going for a big zip. Not quite big enough though, immersion. Still too far away.
Dire's middle tower is under
Ben?
Runes will
attack.
come out. FN still able to go
Radiant's
that
top
bounty
tower
rune, even
is
with
under
Stay's
attack.
best attempts to stop him from doing so.
I like that FN actually went for the Veil this game. They're going to be lacking some damage in the early game, especially versus this Timber. This could be the difference maker. He does have the hood coming out though, and Petu's still absolutely dominating
Dire's middle
and
tower
showing,
is
improving
under
and showing his
attack.
dominance here in the mid lane.
Dire's structures
This tower
are fortified.
is going to go down too.
I mean,
So Live to Win, they're going to push the top
Radiant's
tower as a
top
response,
tower has
but
fallen.
not looking to actually fight here.
Radiant structures are fortified.
it's this sort of Veil Blink build, not rather risky though against a Storm that is rushing the Orchid.
Dire's
Gonna
middle
have probably
tower
quite a
is
good
under
time on it.
attack.
Definitely can have its risks.
middle tower
I wonder if he
has
switches
fallen.
from the blink and just goes for Yules. I don't think he needs to go blink to force stuff early on either. They have anti-mates, right? They want to just be able to play this passive game. Like, they're gonna set up. They have the break, but he's already got the armor stacked.
And now he's going to back up. Sayer's going to roll in. And Gwyn as well coming across. Pet2, he's going to be able to live. They're just turning, grabbing back FM with the Vortex as they'll cut down the two of them. They try to commit onto the Timber. It's just not enough damage, even with that Veil buff.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah,
under
and now
attack.
bottom, they're setting up for this attack here versus Lift to Win with only 2 heroes. That's what's said.
I mean, that's three big kills for the Storm to be involved in as well, as that's really going to speed up Gwyn's Orchid.
Radiant's courier has
A
been
good
killed.
burst.
And he has a regen too. He actually can continue his impact on the map now because of this too. That's, I mean, huge losses there for Live to Win, giving up pretty much everything versus a kill that's just not going to happen.
I mean,
Like you
it
break
was
him, but
close,
he has 24 reactive armor. He
Sure.
broke the coil though. If he didn't break coil, he was going to be a lot more free to be fine.
But you think for the most part, like if the Timber's there like that, you only go on him if you have what, 3 hit? Like what do you need to be able to go on him?
You need to have the third. The last, either a Wrath of Nature. Maybe it didn't. Maybe that's what I missed. Maybe they tried to go for with the Wrath and it didn't hit him. Because I did see it's on cooldown. So maybe that was the play that they were trying to do with Wrath and Veil. But if not, you need like the AM Mana Void to come in, or the Bloodseeker Bloodright. They need something else if they're gonna go for those setups. And I feel like the Afterlife actually has to be there to defend towers too. So maybe a little bit of slip up from him.
Radiant are scanning.
Still keeping themselves at a decent point. The AM's still farming fine, and they are getting aggressive.
Oh, they get themselves in. On to Sayu. He's able to roll away though. He's gonna live. They'll drop the Dream Coil down onto Eknar alone.
Tower is under attack.
Dead CM, but that was the smoke move and not finding the big kill that they were hoping for with that hunt.
Now Petu has Hood, so he is way harder to kill. They probably don't have the damage to deal with him at all now, even with a third hero. This Hood is gonna just protect him that much more. They'll probably need everybody to bring him down now. Still keeping up though. The gold lead is still just staying the same. Empire winning on experience because of those live to win slip ups when they gave up those kills. But I think you're still pretty happy as Dream. He's gonna have a way faster Battle Fury than he did on his Ursa.
True. Well, that's true. And we'll see if this Anti-Mage can carry. As you said earlier, in a game that, you know, things don't go
Dire's
too
bottom
downhill
tower is
early
under
on for
attack.
Live to Win. Anti-Mage on paper should have a very good chance of carrying this game.
Yeah, he should just be able to almost 1v5 this game. There's a couple silences and stuff he needs to play around, but if he's able to get the space from the split push that's gonna inevitably happen from Nature's Prophet Puck, he has a really good shot of carrying, especially because he's only 600 gold behind Luna. Luna wants to be much more ahead, at least like 1,000, 2,000, maybe something around there. Battle Fury is gonna get online and Luna's gonna start getting out. Still no Orchid on Gwyn either. Had it just a bit faster that actually last game he had the first game was Storm he had at 11:52 I remember. So this one is quite a bit slowed down here.
Regeneration.
Nice rune steal by Immersion. And let's see if they start to actually force anything. As Petu, he almost has his Eternal Shroud. And then I want to see him just continue to do what he was doing before. You know, park himself to go for another tower. Just look to have the Luna play behind him and his team play behind him. Just be that unbreakable force.
Sure, because as you said, there's got to be a point where Empire they want to get they're going to want to get something
have to
done.
do something.
You cannot sit back whilst this AM's just having pretty much that whole half of the map to himself. They haven't really put any pressure on or made any invasive moves into Live to Win's jungle.
Yeah, Live to Win is aware of what they need to do, though. Look at the ward coverage. They do the 2 entrances to the jungle. They throw out a successful scan when they're not seeing much. Seneco's going to break the gank perfectly, which even if he dies, that's fine, because then he protected Dream. Nice move by Seneco to know what that is. He even throws the Wrath of Nature just to push out the lanes when he does die. So they get this kill, but they're not going to get much more out of it.
Radiant's top tower is under
For the
attack.
twins.
I found Immersion.
Nice little split up of the mount of Live to Win.
See if they find any of Empire as they make their way back. And Eknar, he'll be found. FN again, holding nothing back there against the CM. Dream Coil down, wants to make sure the kill's secured.
This time he's casting the Dream Coils at maximum frequency, and he did switch the build. He went for the Veil into Yules because of that Orchid rather than the Blink. Feels like the much more appropriate one as now Seiyu.
He's looking to be pretty dead. He's going to have some backup. And then the backups, is it going to be enough to keep him safe? FN's trying to finish him off. As Seiyu will go down to the Blood Bright. Empire trying to see if they can find anything in return, but FN's already got the orb out and he's away. They'll manage to get the kill and get out despite Empire trying to turn up and get a trade there for losing Seiyu.
They forced all of Empire to mid 2, which is huge, because now Dream, they can continue doing their split up. Dream, it's a nice reflected Frostbite. He'll be able to survive and get his farm. So nice move from Live to Win, getting themselves all the space in the world for this anti-mage.
Well, as soon as Dream draws the attention up there, he's off to the other half of the map.
What's the Luna building toward? Okay, SNY into Dragonlight.
All the stats.
Okay.
So
at least he's going for full right click. I feel like he needs to get an early butterfly, and he probably wants to get this BKB, but I feel like just butterfly and just they need to end the game.
Well,
they need to just like really pick up the
if
pace.
If you're going SNY and Dragonlance, like, isn't this more of a build where you're trying to avoid getting a BKB?
Yeah.
You're going to need a bigger item after these two sort of mid.
I'm not sure. I feel like BKB and Butterfly after SNY is like we need to end the game right away after these 3 items before AM's able to play the game. But we'll see if we'll see if this one works out, as they're still okay. This AM's just getting a lot of space, which is worrying. They're not finding Dream. They're not able to hunt for him because of this lane positioning.
Gwyn.
Live to Win. They're just being faster.
They've caught him. And with the Dream Coil on top of him, is he able to live long enough to get out? He's not. Zephyr will be frostbitten, but he's able to jump out to the orb, stay it. Also in a bit of trouble here is Immersion and Snako are trying to chase him. Eknart and Smiling Knight are coming across. There with Jukes in the jungle. Will actually keep himself in enough. Immersion. Oh, he's actually going to be found there. Nice little sentry drop down. Right on top of them, giving them that temporary vision of the area. Allowing them to find his little hidey hole.
Empire needs to now push this tower, though. Coil was used, Great Wrath of Nature was used, Nyx, everything was used. Just take this tower. Had to will, because it's already pretty damn low, actually. Didn't notice how low it was. So they'll at least be able to get that out of this. But Live to Win, they're forcing movements around the map, which is just giving anti-mage space. The deny. He wants blood now.
He's going for this Petu. He's in. Has he got enough burst? Oh, not quite. They make it away. Afterlife coming in, seeing if he could have found the opportunity for that rupture, but two already out.
That was close. If they get the rupture there, there's a chance for them to be able to chase out this Timber because how far he did dive. And AM continues to farm. Once he gets Manta, he'll start actually turning up to these fights, and he's going to be problematic for this Storm and for this Luna, and even for, I mean, maybe not Timber, the Storm and the Luna mostly, because that's the main targets he's going to go for. He's going to have great mana voids. And then the fights are going to be difficult, as we've seen Live to Win. They do have good damage. With this Wrath of Nature bouncing through with this Veil, it's definitely adding up.
Say it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And all of this spotted out by Immersion, who also did dispel the smoke that we're coming in with.
The power of Nyx. There's so much information given. They can get this push going. He might pay with his life. He will. But it costs him a dust and a sentry. Let's see if they can get anything out of the map, as the split push is going to instantly commence. And they're going to actually set up Seiyu bottom, maybe to catch something. The Air Spirit looking for this Bloodseeker. Because they do have the Storm Gwyn. He can do these long zips if there's a good opportunity.
Set in stone.
Say it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Dying off the action. I need some help. Soon. And there it is. Gwyn in with a big zip. And they get the job done.
Peace.
Nicely done. I like that from Seiyu. It was all about the next move. That's what he was thinking about. When they did the first move, he was already planning for the next one. And I love to see when players do that. But they will now find Petu.
I mean, they've got Dream with them this time. So good bit of punch
Eternal Shroud,
against Timber. Whoa. Do they want to chase for it? They don't. Smiling Light popping the ult, and that will give the signal for Live to Win to start to try and retreat. FN will... Oh, is he going to get out? He's got the orb away. And he's into the river, and he's away. He's going to live.
Oh, my God.
He makes it out of there.
Gwyn is hunting, though. Gwyn doesn't want him to. He has a haste. He's swinging over.
Oh, this Pug's got to watch out. Gwyn?
Oh,
Oh, he doesn't know where to go. Okay, he's going to settle for the Nature's Prophet. Seneko goes down, but we're seeing Gwyn getting out of there.
seeing that Eternal Shroud really saving Petu as well. That mana restore that he gets from them really saving his life because the Mana Void didn't actually hit him for full. But now Dream, Manta's done. They've bought their time. Live to Win are in an excellent position now in this game to just constantly fight. As Gwyn, no BKB, still for another 1,600 gold. So this Storm, he doesn't want to show up to fights as much anymore. As soon as they see that Manta, he's going to start feeling the fear.
Yeah, we see as well with the build for Dream. What this Scardy's going to...
They're actually just looking for him. Seneco's in.
They've got him trapped in the Sprout. Follow-up Impale into the Blood Rise. Smiling Knight's got to step his way out of it, but he's been ruptured. As he cannot stand and fight this, FN swings around with a Dream Coil down onto Eknart as well. As they get the turn, and they're going to continue to try and push him more. Dream watching from the side, looking for an opportune moment to get in on this. As Seiyu, they'll be the target, they'll jump in, look to clean up the Earth Spirit. He's out to the side, the silence, and the not enough to take him out. Seiyu will live, oh, but Dream, he's in with the finishing blow. Mana Void dropped. Seiyu will fall. Dream finally finding that opportunity to get the kill he was wanting.
Oh man, and the timer is hit. I feel like Empire now have a really hard game ahead of them because this Luna, I really don't like this Dragonlance, I have to be honest. I think he needed to go for BKB so that he can just hold his ground inside of these fights. Now he's just, it's free for them to Carapace, throw every spell on him, and he's just food. He's so squishy in these fights with this build now. I mean, he would have the BKB pretty much done if he didn't go for the Lance.
Why do you
it's really all about the 2-3 items for this game.
He did want the Lance in the build-up. I mean, what are you sort of feeling that extra attack range is going to do for you this game?
I think he was just trying to be as greedy as possible to hold it off for as long as possible so that it would be that impactful when he gets it. But when you're playing versus AM, it's all about these like very concise timings, and it feels like Empire may have just missed that timing because of this. They're going to go in Roche, and it feels like they have to get this Roche or the game's just going to detonate in their
Oh, they're in FN. He's got the coil out. Smiling Knight's in trouble. Smiling Knight's just straight up dead. They've lost the two of them around the pit. Bash from Roche onto Petu. Petu's trying to get out of there. But another impale from him actually comes in. They continue to keep him controlled. They're going to have the silences here as FN jumps over, held in the blood right.
Look at Gwyn.
Dream's just chasing down the Storm. He's going into the base. He's finishing him off. As Dream gets the kill, he's going to have a blink up in a second. He's fine. He's easily able to make his way out of there. But there's 4 heroes dying off the back of that attempt for Roshan as Live to Win. I mean, that could have been laid out any easier for them to win that fight there.
No, the game is just over now, really. Like, there's nothing Luna can do now in this matchups. And they tipped him. They know, too. As soon as he walks down into the low ground, he's just food. Just click all your spells on him. He has no immunity.
Just too greedy of a build. Even with the opening impale missing, it didn't matter.
No, it doesn't
Just look how quickly that Luna just melts. And really very much a reason why, as you said, you know, teams are just around the world, they're not picking the carry Luna.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's like one of the few carries that you just absolutely have to have BKB in 90% of lineups, or you're too squishy. And they also picked it into the AM. This is a favorable matchup for AM if you start to fall behind at all on this Luna. And now that they have fallen behind, they've fallen behind in a massive manner. Just look at those graphs, and you see a 91% chance for victory just off of those few fight wins for them.
Quickly as I go.
And now he can't even get space to farm up the BKB, which he desperately needs.
They're losing heroes. There's Live to Win. They're at the point now where they can kind of go where they want. They may lose immersion, but they're going to get so much more for it. Dream does lose the Aegis, but he was able to take down Gwynblight. As at this stage, Live to Win, they don't really even need the Aegis to make these moves. They don't mind losing it here. 11k lead continuing.
Dream just going for a Scotty, which he's about to have done. So he's just significantly out farming the Luna at this point, but they'll find Seneko. Also contingency kill. But look at Dream is just waiting on the side for an opportunity. Not gonna take it, not gonna jump in.
My gratitude.
Chance to jump in.
For the twins.
Have a go if they split up again.
It's just smooth coasting now for Dream, really. He has the world is his oyster. You know, he's gonna go buy his items, blink around, farm. Has no risk of dying to this draft of Empire now, unless they perfectly set up their silences and stuns and everything onto him, which it's just not gonna happen. Flip to win. Always with immersion on the scout, it's giving them so much information for when these ganks do happen, and they just have such a comfortable window. The BKB is finished on Luna, so let's see. Can they actually win some fights with this?
Where's the party?
Bam. Gotta get the grab on him. If FN can play his way out of it, he's got backup coming in. Phase shift off, FN's fine. As the silence is down on a Gwyn. Gwyn's gonna be the first one to fall in these fights. Smiling Knight is trying to commit with the BKB Impale. He's out onto the Dream, comes in with the Mana Void on the backlines. It's 3 dead. Smiling Knight, he's trying to fight, but even with this BKB, he's just not doing anything at all. This Luna offering nothing to the fight, as they're all gonna get taken down one by one. Pedu, the last man standing, but he's also as good as dead. A triple kill for Afterlife, as they just have nothing, and as we saw there, it just felt as underwhelming as it expected. Even with the BKB at this stage, the Luna can't do anything.
That's why Dota is such a beautiful game of this, like, of chess. This push and pull where you make this one slight mistake versus a hero like Anti-Mage with this type of draft, and the game's just, it's unwinnable.
ZFM starting to poke Pedu. They've got the mid lane pushing in as well. Take that second tier 2.
They forced the buyback though. They're backing up and resetting, picking up all these crazy amount of new items that they now have from the fight. Everyone gets like a free 2,600 gold injection.
20,000 gold ahead here. Just 27 minutes in.
How quick it happens, right? Look at that. At 21 minutes, it was almost even. But Anti-Mage got the space, and yeah, it's just really the draft at this point now, where Empire, if they didn't have a huge lead now, there's no way to really recover to be able to deal with what they're up against. Anti-Mage just has free control, and Live to Win. It's just when they want to decide to end the game now, and when they want to just really push forward the issue. As Gwyn still doesn't have BKB. Oh god, immersion's on him.
It's getting rough. Basher also done on Afterlife, so additional ways to just lock down these heroes through the BKBs. As they're chasing, they've got to run all the way back to base here. Poor old Eknar, another Dream Call drop down for him.
Blood for the twins.
When we're seeing just much more of the control they had of the game as they did in game 1.
Yeah, and a clear understanding of how they should play this game, right? Like just maybe in the beginning not so much because of these deaths that they gave up when they had this anti-mage rep and they went for bottom, but afterwards it seems like they really understood what they needed to do, just using the coil liberally, killing supports, just knowing we have an anti-mage in this game. We just need to build time and just make space for this guy to win the game versus lineup, and it's exactly what they did. They did it cleanly after the beginning. They did make some pretty big mistakes at that start, but now
he's going in. Onto Afterlife. Afterlife's going to have backup. He's going to have the BKB. He pops it. And he's ready to stand his ground. Back up from Dream. They're in on the Smiling Knight. Smiling Knight getting bashed. Afterlife will go down, but Smiling Knight's out as well.
Invisibility.
So lose the carry for the offlaner. FM ready to jump in, continuing to silence and coil the backline. Dream's in with a follow-up. They get Gwyn. They get Eknar. As Eknar will buy back. There's also a buyback available on Smiling Knight. I don't know how much else he's going to be able to offer up as Dream is in the front of it, looking towards Sayu. He's able to take him out. Triple kill for the anti-mage. Over towards the CM and the Timber they go. As Eknar's down. Another buyback comes out from Sayu, and Live to Win, they will retreat. They will respect the buybacks from Empire. Their lead just continuing to grow.
I can't believe Empire's continuing with this one, I'll be honest with you. There's no hope for the Luna, but they're gonna try to continue this one. But it's no hope for the Luna, and Storm, it's 30 minutes in on, and he still does not have the BKB. He just can't do anything in the fights. Fully controlled. He'll grab some bounties, but smooth sailing for Live to Win from this point forward. Anti-mage in mode chill.
And an anti-mage that Yeah, he wasn't even last pick,
Radiant's
right? This was
middle
he
tower is
fourth
under
pick this
attack.
game, I believe.
It was right after the storm. Right after the storm pick, yeah.
Yeah. So they had a chance to respond. They decided to go in with the Luna, and as you say, maybe the idea was that they'd run over this anti-mage with some sort of fast-paced gameplay. It just didn't happen. Did not happen at all.
It just has to be this get ahead, stay ahead mentality with Luna, but it's a really big risk versus an AM where your draft is just so countered. You're all magic damage, really. So
Comparison game just taking huge slowdown off the back of all these deaths. Incredibly long time it's taken him to get his next item out. Of how well they've
one other thing
Radiant's bottom
I'm curious about, I didn't point it out early, but I will wait till all this kicks off.
I mean, look how quickly that Timber dies. That's the tanky Spirit dies in a second, and Dream, he's ready to look for more. Gets the double into the triple. He's over to Smiling Knight. You know he's looking for the big one. Is he going to be able to get it? There's an Ultra. Oh, an FN.
GG.
Taking it away from them. GG, and instant disconnects around the board there from Empire. This was definitely a rough, drawn-out one for them as live to win. An anti-mage game, and as you said, it looked to be a good one. It certainly was. Ended up to be a very, very clean anti-mage game, but
two are getting rough. My mind just sounds like Shia LaBeouf. It says no, 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 no. Just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Yep.
But,
5
like,
seconds
it's
remaining.
just concerning to me. I don't think Extremum is quite there yet as a team. They've developed one
Radiant team
strategy
ban.
that they're really good at.
Well,
But-
let's see if they can get their hand on that one, because if we are talking about it, we know that VP probably knows about it as well. So maybe Extremum will have to go in a whole different direction. We're going to find out. We are ready to head into the draft of the second series of the day, VP versus Extremum, after this.
Virtus.pro's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. Virtus.pro's turn to pick.
League's assassin.
Radiant team pick.
Shadow Shaman.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Virtus.pro's turn to pick.
Keeper of the light.
Welcome back to ESL 1,
10
powered
seconds
by
remaining.
Intel, where we are ready to head into the draft of the second
5
series
seconds
of the day.
remaining.
We see Virtus.pro taking on EXTREMUM. We've decided that this is a uphill battle for
Radiant
EXTREMUM, but
team
if they get their hands on the strategy of their choice, they have a good chance here against a VP. We're joined by a BSJ on a big screen. He'll be joining us for the draft, as well as a Cap and T-Governor as well. And we are ready to jump straight in. And we have the openings already as
10
well. Brian,
seconds
initial
remaining.
thoughts on these 4 heroes on the board?
5 seconds.
Wow, these are
remaining.
heroes I've just never seen before. This is crazy.
Wow. Medusa, by the way, is banned, so definitely a strategy from EXTREMUM that VP gives proper respect to.
Virtus
And the Death
Pro's
Prophet.
turn to
Yeah, and the
ban
Death
Radiant
Prophet as well. No
team ban.
DP5.
And there's the Brussels. There we go. Sorry, EXTREMUM, you're not allowed to play anything you're comfortable on.
So are we going to see EXTREMUM already play something vastly different from what we have seen from them in the future?
Potentially they might angle away, but I think the important thing is
10
simply the
seconds
idea of the
remaining.
bans. I like from EXTREMUM. They ban out this line. We've seen VP play it yesterday,
5
especially into the
seconds
puck.
remaining.
And puck wasn't even
Virtus
banned, so
Pro's turn
Virtus.pro,
to
they
ban.
cover themselves from this potential puck pick with a shaman, and now EXTREMUM kind of have to pivot away from potentially what would have been a very easy pick. Instead, they now go for arguably two of the best heroes in the meta right now in that supporting role with the next Cuddle. So yeah, in terms of meta, EXTREMUM should be happy with these picks, but it's not
10
like a
seconds
surprise. It's not
remaining.
going to put VP in a difficult position of, wait, what? What are they picking right now?
5
It's just
seconds
the
remaining.
Cuddle and the Nyx, of course.
You mentioned last
Radiant
series that the
team
Timbersaw represents a hero that they have to deal with in regards to heavy single target focus, which means it's also hard for them to deal with summons. And I look at these EXTREMUM heroes and I say these supports are going to get ran at by a Wraith King, a Lycan, even getting dove by like a Nature's
10
Prophet in the
seconds
early
remaining.
game, even if it's a 5 position. So I'm curious if
5
Virtus.pro is going to
seconds
take
remaining.
a page out of T-Gov's notebook here and go for the Timbersaw plus some summons to make EXTREMUM have too many boxes to check.
I'm also wondering what Shotshell is good playing in this game. Because if there's a Timbersaw, I feel like about 80% of his hero pool is
The tanky
a
boy
lot
off
worse.
lane.
Like the tanky
Yeah.
boy offlaners are no longer there. What's next? The Bat Rider? Well, you could still get Oracle for that. So, you know, I'll be curious to see because they've just been kind of like hitting the same notes and tones that honestly shot entire career.
I'm scrolling, mate. I literally can't find anything.
Well,
At best, as a Bloodseeker. At best.
Mars is still in the pool as well. Played Underlord, Darkseer, Pango, Axe.
Pango?
Yeah, Pango is
Pango,
the one,
maybe.
like,
Mhm.
I feel like Pango, and I guess he played Bloodseeker.
Yeah.
Like, those are, like,
Virtus
one-off games
Pro's
that they
turn to
played with,
ban.
and those are abnormal for him. But 50% of his games, I think, are Mars right now.
So that's what that's what the beauty of I say the beauty, I actually hate it kinda. But where the patch becomes why is Nyx strong? It takes away 50% of the mid lane hero
10
pool. Why is
seconds
Timber strong?
remaining.
You need to have the perfect heroes to deal with him. And also it removes
5
a
seconds
portion of the hero.
remaining.
It is just an annoying hero, so but eventually teams do learn how to deal with it.
Yeah, what I've learned in drafts is that you have to not lose the draft in the first 2 picks. I think tier 1 teams like Virtus.pro, they pretty much never do that. Like, I never look at their first 2 picks and I see the 3rd pick for the opponent and some perfect hero. Usually in the early stages of the draft, your heroes just have to make it so that you don't have to worry about nearly as many things later on, such that you don't get the gotcha pick on the 8th, 9th pick. Sometimes you look at these early drafts and you say, why did they pick a Timbersaw? There's no strength heroes here.
Mhm.
But it just makes it so that you only can ban away so many heroes. And now you can take away everything that you're possibly concerned about.
And I honestly don't mind the opening from EXTREMUM either, because they are first pick. They have this kind of just
Virtus
strong
Pro's
support duo.
turn to
They get to
pick.
see one more hero from VP before they have to start revealing something
Radiant
within
team
their kind of core department. So VP, they're not they're not really showing anything either. So strong Oracle, maybe that becomes a troll pick on the next one if EXTREMUM pick up a weaker offlane. So VP, they're keeping their cards close to their chest, but EXTREMUM can exploit this with one kind of flexible core here to get themselves
10
through one more pick
seconds
from VP.
remaining.
And it's kind of interesting. I thought they were going to bait out
5
the Bat Rider
seconds
and then
remaining.
counterpick it with, but I guess they feel like there are so few options left to be able to deal. I mean, it's already good synergy with it, but then you're limited.
You also can't really draft like that, I don't think, because you only see 2 supports, and then if you want to hide your position 5, that's when you can start getting a little bit outplayed. So for Extremum here, they need to really pick, like maybe even the Pangolier in this position. Oh, they go for the Bloodseeker, like we already mentioned about the offlane pool.
Yep.
So both teams pretty much revealing everything about their side lanes and their support duo. And the carries are to be picked.
Do you guys think because we saw how Troll is able to build an early Maelstrom, even
5
does
seconds
a lot.
remaining.
Do you guys think Bloodseeker could make it as a safe lane carry against with that kind of build, or does he kind of have to be through?
I tried that build. It didn't go too well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually went into a game with that exact thought cap.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I think the fact that Troll can do the right clicking from range.
Yeah.
So you're not eating Whirling Death and Timber Chain while you're hitting him. Even though Bloodseeker has innate sustain from his 3rd spell, I don't know. It on paper it seems like it should work, and then it just didn't.
Well, the 51st best player in North America and South America because it doesn't.
What's down EU?
Is that what I am right now?
4,500.
Nice.
The Wraith King pick also removes it from the pool, obviously, for Nefrit, who...
It's the playbook, Shiva.
The only one remaining from the playbook is Alchemist, but is this still an Alchemist-friendly game? I don't think so. Are we going to see him play something different?
Oh, yeah. That would not go down too well, I don't think.
Radiant team.
I really like this Wraith King pick.
Tidehunter.
Interesting. The Watermelon, the one hero it doesn't like playing into, is going to be the Timbersaw.
Yeah.
Because you're meant to park yourself in front of the tower and feel pretty chipper about defending it. Timbersaw, with about 2 spells and a bit of enthusiasm, takes away that hero. So, a bit upset about this pick by Extremum. I don't really like it. Being a bit blunt there.
5
Brian,
seconds
what are your thoughts?
remaining.
He's probably one of the best strength heroes just because the Kraken Shell removes the debuff of the Whirling Death, so you don't lose a bajillion strength. But I agree with you. I think his role is already pretty hard here, and they have a last pick mid to give like follow-up to the Timbersaw's threat on the Tide. I also believe that they don't have any stuns really other than the Nyx, and I've seen games where Nyx is the only guy to go do stuff, and they have 2 tanky boys and the Wraith King and the Timbersaw, and they've got 1 volley of spells. They've got Rupture, they've got Ravage, they've got Nyx Vendetta, and I just don't think you're going to be able to chew through this HP at some point. Maybe around 15-20 minutes, that critical threshold is going to be too high for Virtus.pro's tankiness to Extremum's damage output over time. Sustained damage is what I'm looking at.
Virtus.pro's
I will say,
to ban.
the flip side argument to my own hatred towards this Tidehunter pick is simply, I think maybe if you use the Bloodseeker to cover the Timbersaw, there is real no kill threat on the Tidehunter early on. So this Bloodseeker, he has that wave clear with the Keeper of Light in that Timbersaw lane, the Tidehunter into the Wraith King. Like, it's all about the lanes right now. Like, I was mentioning game situations, but if they can win the lanes, get the ball rolling, they might be able to get something going their way.
Totally agree with that. I would be a big fan of the Tidehunter pick here if they had a 4 position that would take advantage of that laning phase.
That's true.
You know, where you're able to use this like Wind Ranger, Lina, like insert range 4 that is able to just hit the Wraith King, and you just gush combo him every single time. Like, that feels really good for the laning. I'm not convinced Nyx's Assassin is going to use.
They need some tower damage, because with these types of heroes, they're going to have good lanes for sure, but as soon as we get to that 15-20 minute timing where we see VP play slow then turn up the heat, they can't group up and be confident unless they've already built up a 5-6k gold lead and they rely on their items to cushion the fact that Tide isn't that tanky. Bloodseeker doesn't really scale the Wraith King, so
yeah, where like there's no Death Prophet or Leshrac left, so I don't know what your pushing power is going to come in.
Okay,
you're mid.
So they're going all out, just big skirmish, big fight, and if they kill this Oracle at the start, maybe the displacement of teamfight on VP's lineup. Sure, they might have a weak early game, but actually, yeah, I think maybe this Storm pick's kind of cool. I'm scared that they can never end the game. And against VP, I think you need a clean route to ending.
Dude, I think Storm Spirit's #1 problem is damage, man. Like,
true.
He eventually runs out of mana and he can't do damage, and that was the one issue I really had with Extremum's lineup. So I'm not trying to be Like, I'm less of a fan of this pick than the Tidehunter pick. I think they needed I guess Lesh and OD would have been good picks. They needed like something like that just dumped out damage. That's all they needed, I think. And Storm just doesn't cut it. And now they go for the puck. So suddenly the Storm Spirit and Bloodseeker, who are all about zip zapping and zip zooping with the running around on Bloodseeker. Yeah, baby bopping. There you go. I think I love Virtus.pro's draft. I think it's well rounded. I think EXTREMUM just don't have the tools to deal with their heroes later on in the game, and all their heroes have like the innate kit to kill the Storm Bloodseeker, and that alone tells me that they can get more items for themselves rather than building to counter the opponent, and that almost always leads to the victory for the team that has to do that. So Virtus.pro, I'm really liking them here.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. We'll come back to you after the game. And the way everybody was talking about the draft seems fairly good for Virtus.pro and for their fans, Tigov. I want to hear Glimmers of Light for EXTREMUM.
Good wave clear in the anti-Timbersaw lane. They have good anti-Wraithking heroes with the Timbersaw. No, sorry, with the Tidehunter.
Yep.
And the Storm with an early Orchid can punish the puck, you know? So they have an ability to win all 3 lanes and to get the ball rolling. They need to somehow hold that up and not make mistakes. The only issue is, if they make the mistake, I feel like VP will eventually just outscale and play more methodical like we saw yesterday. The other team looks good for 15-20 minutes, then they fall off.
Yeah, you guys were talking about, what, Wiggly Squiggly?
Yeah.
Bibbidi
Bobbidi. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Swiggity Swooty.
Yeah.
GPK is coming for that booty.
Yeah.
All right, Swiggity Swooty. All right, I don't know what to do with that one, but I'm sure Moxie and Purge will be able to take this one. Take it away.
Well, those are the technical terms of bibbidi bobbidi boo, swiggity swee, and all these wonderful other things. I'm really interested to hear what your official technical terms and phrases would be towards what we're seeing with that.
Well, I don't know if I have any good that whip. I'm just thinking. The EXTREMUM draft's definitely kind of interesting. They're falling back on hero, at least the Bloodseeker, that aren't super proven, but that's a support. You know, Rupture against Timbersaw is very good. Having Silence against Shadow Shaman is a good matchup, and like Tigov said, if they can do good in the lane, it's an okay place in the mid. But you know, there's scary stuff. Foil against Storm Spirit with correct roaming. Like if he gets ultied and Shadow Shaman follows up, like Storm's gonna die very often. I don't know, maybe Nyx Assassin is the other X factor as well. Move around, help Storm stay alive, maybe get... There's lots of potential. Get EXTREMUM. EP's super clean so far. They consist with their 2-0s and they look fabulous every time. It's going to be a tough game for EXTREMUM.
30 seconds to battle.
I definitely think that looking at the draft lineup that they have coming out side of VP, it feels like it's going to be similar to, you know, the game that we just saw yesterday, actually. Well, where they know their item timing and then once it's go time, they just start popping off. Granted, though, they have some going on. They do need those lanes. Definitely, for sure, there's hope there.
The battle begins.
Especially when you consider that yesterday was the very bottom of the upper.
See how the lanes. Nyx slightly different win lace with extra reach compared to the boots, so show us that he wants to fight a little bit more. Maybe that's the aggressiveness that Cap was looking for, of course, but if you have more regen, it's going to be fighting often.
Are you also concerned about the fact, you know, I like the fact that they Storm just because it does give you that mid, but I am concerned about their lack of damage. Like, they don't have the type of supports that really, you know, satisfy the ganking out a lot of the time.
Yeah, Coddle's damage is
Dire's top
not
tower
as great in ganking, but Nyx Assassin still does a lot there. So I think Storm does provide them enough damage generally. Like if you pair Storm with one of the other cores plus the support, I think you should be able to kill heroes. The only one that's a bit iffy is going to be Timbersaw on this circle. I think they have some options here. And as the game gets really late, you know, Bloodseeker, not the most traditional carry, but he could buy a shard that does pure damage based on their health. That'd be really effective against Timbersaw, very effective against high HP Wraith Kings. So they have some options. They could itemize a little different. I would love to see EXTREMUM win this early game just to see if they do itemization-wise and see how they pressure. I've got to win those lanes first before start talking about what items are going to save your game.
again, talking back about, you know, the fact they are going to get pretty chonky. It is definitely, you know, Timbersaw, never usually the person that you want to go after, especially earlier on in the game. Dominant. But I remember yesterday when, you know, Virtus.pro was going up against Unique, and they just got so tanky perched, and they had such an issue with damage that they would get Dream Coil. We saw a beautiful Dream Coil come out from the side of Unique with like 4 heroes caught under it, and they literally just stood there and didn't care. Like, they didn't Delta split, they didn't do anything. They stood there, Dream Coiled up, and just murdered the entire team because they couldn't kill them. They were too tanky, and of course they had plenty of damage at that point.
Yeah, and so you've gotta, even if you have those like perfect heroes that give you the lockdown that you need, your lineup still has to make sense out at that phase. But outside of Tide and a lot of vulnerable heroes, should have a nice game in his lanes and his not too. Starting again.
And again, it's pretty quiet for the most part. Haven't been seeing a lot of like early winner kills in a lot of these CIS games. Because actually we've seen more aggression coming out in the EU.
Yeah, not always the lane. Like usually they'll stabilize their lanes and go ganking, and we'll probably see something. Fight again. Shaman trying to stack the small camp in the meantime, saves body, block that, but didn't quite work out, so nobody lost there. Little normal skirmish stuff. I think things top lane, a lot of fighting though.
Yeah, there's a lot of poking back and forth, but there's no real hard committal on this again. I normally see that aggression come out until around maybe, you know, around the 4-minute mark when we start to see the action runes come out, or of course, you know, the 5-minute mark. Definitely a rotation towards that mid lane to try to get.
But I'm curious if Timber's gonna pressure against Bucky. A lot of Timbers would go for a Orb of Venom, guaranteeing those range creeps and right by Coddle, so very easy for them to flash hits. 16 so far on Bloodseeker, but once Timber gets like another level or two, he should be pretty much survivable in this lane and not have to worry about much at all. I go on Bloodseeker.
Poking back and forth. Don't look too concerned. They get Timber off over on Nefrit. Bloodright won't connect. And it's just Timber doing Timber things, honestly.
Now he's got 2 points. Yeah, sure, he's going to take magic damage. Storm getting zoned out of mid lane. Walking back to his bottle a little bit quicker. But he's sitting 17-2, Puck at 15-5, so they're very tied out of regen top lane active. He hasn't got any points in Kraken Shell yet. He wanted to have Gush to be able to harass and both Wraith King a bit. Walking over for Wraith King, but this is kind of cool. He spawns skeletons and throws his stun at Nyx. And what this does is it aggroes the skeleton on him and basically makes any movements he does spotted. So that was kind of a weird little move, but kind of an effective way to spend some mana. It's not like he really needs Wraithfire Blast that bad. The skeleton just follows Nyx around and makes it so obvious. So.
Top lane, now that they know the Nyx isn't here, they'll try to put a little bit more damage to Tashlo, but not gonna have it just yet. 4-minute runes are spawning, and it's kind of, you kind of know what they're doing though, right? You know that if Ju's leaving the lane, that he's gonna trying to cure a. In fact, the rune is bottom. They take down the courier. Poor save.
We got something out of it. And Tide has picked up his morbid, by the way. So this is supposed to give him lane stability, basically, but kind of a cool itemization from Lightstone. Basically, give him really good pressure against Tide. If Tide had Kraken Shell, this wouldn't mean nearly as much, but it's a nice way to offset what Tide was trying to do. Gonna run back to base and go heal. Not very normal for offlaners to do this. I heard him in the last sets about 18-4 versus the 25-10. Not a bad start for Wraith King in the slightest in this.
Yep. See, that save had already rotated over. They got silenced off the shackles. They need just a little bit more damage. And I'm pretty sure that GPK will still be able to find. In fact, they actually forced a teleport over to the mid lane too. So, feeling very happy. But if you're Virtus.pro Tashlo on the top lane is taking a decent chunk of damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Too much about it as the runes are up, the bounties are getting taken. The Virtus.pro grabbing quite.
It's a tough moment where level 5 getting ganked is pretty. On the bright side, G did some great stacks there. He's got a double or a triple stack of large camp, a double of medium. Storm should be able to clean those up, pick up a 6 safely. Puck is about to hit
Dire's
6 here. That's where
turret
things
has
get
been
scary.
killed.
Any rotations, he gets ganked. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's shift and go to.
They did manage to get a courier snipe over here in the top lane. Nightfall's courier is going to not be able to deliver things to him for a bit. And so over here, nice Pale coming out from 2. Lets the spike Carapace, buys a little bit more time. This Tidehunter, though, will get taken down by Kingslayer thanks to those Purifying Flames.
Way too much magic damage. And this is usually why, because when I play Tide, I mean, it's cool to have the lifesteal and all, but like, he's got no raw HP over what he normally would have. It's a little, like, I get that if he spawns skeletons, you're getting a lot of extra lifesteal, but if he just doesn't spawn skeletons, your damage is a bit low. A little greedy, in my opinion, to go for this Morbid Mask without at least getting, like, a bracer or something. So gets punished by it, just way too much damage coming from Oracle, and the raindrop wasn't enough to offset it.
For the Shadow Shaman, because he's been wandering around over in the there, definitely be able to spot out that they have plenty of stacks. People that can take advantage of them. But another move over here, hoping that someone's going to show up and they can get another gank off.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Interestingly, the Bloodseeker does.
Dire structures are
going for more points in Blood Rage, which is going to allow jungling a lot more. The Storm
getting all leashed up here. Save is here. Gonna get dragged back. Might actually go down to tower. And yes, they managed to find that kill. Now GPK forced to leave. His rotation has made it a very nice counter gank to what they wanted to do.
Really nice. So crucially, if Shaman was like level 4 there, he gets the Hex off before Storm gets to pull off.
Illusion.
Scary.
It's fine. It was calculated. Fully calculated.
It would have been tough even if Silence would have gotten him low, but not quite low enough. That would.
You have the illusion burn too.
Yeah, but by all means, but Storm would have probably just balled away. It's a little bit hairy, but anyways, these stacks are pretty nice for Bloodseeker with no build here. He's a little bit more effective at. If you look at his net worth, especially, he's actually not that far behind Timber, only by 400. So if these were just regular camps, this would be a much different story. But she's going to try to defend the safe lane now. With Blast is what Coddle does best here.
Oh, they
so even though Timber can, yeah, they can still.
It's like he's just backing off completely now. Yeah, the ward's spotting out the rotation.
Is under attack.
It's definitely not safe for Coddle down there, especially with Kingslayer making his own.
Dire's
Coddle
middle
can get over here though. He doesn't have a Quelling Blade, so approaching the tower is going to be hard.
Is under attack.
But you know, all you need to do is put a good Illuminate into the wave, and you're in a much better spot here. Looking for him. Here comes a little bit of a greedy Illuminate, but that should clear things out. No, most of the tower damage is going to be gone. No stick from Shadow Shaman, obviously, so they can't just power this down with the tank. So, and now they're rotating over. They've got got Rupture on Bloodseeker, so certainly if Timber gets a little bit crazy, they can go on him. And with Nyx Coddle damage, maybe it'll be enough to get a kill, but it's going to be hard with these.
I mean, that was the big question mark. Coddle's not really great at, putting damage early on unless you get a very nice Eliminate. Chu will have some of that to contribute to the fight, but bottom lane, they go. They throw out the Chakram. Bloodright connects. Illuminate comes out. Save does have to be a little bit careful because Chu chasing him down over here on the side will be able to land the Pale, and now Save walking away.
And then Pale might look weird, but Shadow Shaman does not have Tranquil. The downside of going Arcane's too. Puck rotation though. The best. They'll be fine. They get a kill, but ulti for a level 4 Nyx Assassin, absolutely fine. Especially if G can defend this. He's got Illuminate ready to go. He's going to start channeling. So if he just blasts this wave, this rotation feels kind of bad for Virtus.pro, honestly. But maybe they have enough heroes now to power down the tower.
I think they have plenty now with 4, yeah. In fact, G has to be very careful in this position. See, the Shadow Shaman is making his way over here. Channel that up. We're seeing another rotation though. The teleports are coming down to the bottom lane. It's Chu again.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Got a friend coming in here with him. So it's a lot of heroes that are spending time in the bottom lane, and they haven't been able to take this tower just yet.
Yeah, and that's enough. If they did choose to fight, it would have been good there for Extreme, but Pro recognize how dangerous. They had wards spotting both rune spots, yeah. So very likely they saw Storm pick up this Arcane rune, and that's most likely why they retreat. Not sure if they saw his TP here. Definitely scary to defend against.
Sure. Well, Storm not going to be lucky this time around. The Regeneration gets by Puck over here, so very happy. He'll farm up this back.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Items.
Braille Belly was picked up on. It's really good this game, in my opinion. I think it's excellent on Bloodseeker. You spend quite a bit of mana spamming Blood Rage to farm, and the extra regen helps. And obviously, it's amazing on Storm as well. And he got Barrier's Trinkets. Storm is pretty much in like the best possible circumstance for a
Radiant's
strong
bottom
control
tower
item.
is under attack.
Happy. But generally, the game's pretty close. So only 1k advantage for Virtus.pro. Tide's been basically off doing his own thing ever since he got that death pop.
Radiant's bottom
He's picked up a
tower
hood to
has
solve this like magic nuke issue, and now he's going back for arcane boots. Still not sure where he's going to go itemization. Just got to worry about the pure damage, but yeah, at least he got a pretty stable.
I feel like this is what he always does though recently. Is that, you know, the other team starts to pull away a little bit. They start to do some really nice moves. In fact, they're going to go for a jump here over on DM. They don't know that the Oracle's here as well. The silence comes out, the follow-up with the nuke. Melojul realizing in the back will be able to join up with two. They'll find the kill on King. On Kingslayer here, they'll go back in. Talkdrum buying a little bit more time. Save joining in. The Ravage gets committed. It will connect over onto the Timbersaw, but Save, he teleported in just to his death. The middle tower does go down. They do manage to go and use those Serpent Wards in the meanwhile.
Great maneuver there by VP. It's like they took so much time to defend that. And yeah, EXTREMUM gets the support kills, but they drop Serpent Wards and then TP the Shaman. So even though Shaman dies, they still get a massive tactical advantage out of this. And Ravage was used and barely caught the Timber. Great maneuver by VP. 3k advantage now, and that's Storm's rotation, Bloodseeker's Rupture use. They're gonna have to go back to farming now temporarily, but it's not boding super well. Didn't get the tower, got support kills, lost their tower. Not good. And Wraith King's been very close to his rep.
But like I said, it always feels like Virtus.pro, they play their own game. Start to see, you know, making these moves, they start to put the pressure down, but it always feels like there's like one very special item or something, whether it's picked up on, you know, DK or on their core, like Nightfall. Like there's just something in particular, and then once they get that item, it's full on go time.
Radiant.
Yeah, the lineup's definitely really fighting early. Putty on the VP lineup is that mitigated by not having arms. So if you get like a Radiance on Wraith King and everyone else is still semi-close to the enemy team, yeah, they're absolutely gonna be a fight. Whereas on the EXTREMUM side, they're also matching pace decently well. Like Bloodseeker's gonna have Maelstrom, Storm's gonna have Orchid very shortly, about 500 gold away from it. So they have some options. 6, so pair Storm plus Nyx, they got kills, especially when Orchid comes.
Bottom lane. A little bit of reconnaissance, and they find themselves a kill.
You might wish to retract
If
your
they can get a
last
response,
move.
there's the sentry. See this coming.
Save, trying to juke around. Huck diving away here. They drop the Dream Coil. Do they have the damage? Yes, they'll go. They'll drop down the boards. And they manage to go turn it right back around onto Melojul, and they find another kill onto. Beautifully done between K. Of course, his support save there.
So good. The sentry, knowing that their opponents are going to be following them, that if Nyx is at all playing in the area, they were going to spot him, and then getting the coil on Storm just shut the whole thing down. The stun missing was really the big part. Stun missed. I also like that Shaman didn't like turn in Hex right away. He kind of pretended like he didn't see that the disable was coming, so he just kept running, and as a result, let the hit him like normal, but instantly juke. Most players are not going to anticipate that if they don't have vision. So he basically was able to bait his opponents. Watch how he just keeps moving, making his opponent think that they don't know he's there, and then he instantly jukes. And because stun got juked, basically, he gets the Hex Storm, he gets to drop his ulti, and then the DD that was still on the puck allows him to clean up super. So such a crucial play. Like, they turned a gank into a gank on 2 more heroes. It was insanely powerful.
It just felt like they also saw it coming too, right? Because they were carrying that sentry, and they're like, all right, we killed the Coddle. Someone else has got to be showing up here, right? They're gonna think that
yeah,
you know, we're easy picks. I just love that. I love to see this play.
Silence.
So that's going to give them even more control down in the bot lane of the map. So that's why they keep puck here. Shadow Shaman, huge disable between these two guys. Hex is also maxed out at this point, and he's got an Aether Lens. So Storm is, even if he has Orchid, if he doesn't silence the Shadow Shaman, he's going to be, still doesn't have it. He's short by 100 gold. That death really costing him like a minute or 2 on his Orchid timing that then would have given his team easier options for kills.
This is actually so interesting. They're actually on EXTREMUM as they play down at the bottom, but they will rotate here now to the top.
For the twins.
Protecting bounty. Pose. Should have his Orchid on the way here.
A little nervous if I was Melojul. We saw what they did before. Granted, they did use the Serpent Wards, right? So Does have the Orchid online
They're
now,
back.
just has to be careful.
He definitely dies if he gets caught by these two. Arcane Rune, Veil of Discord. Doesn't have treads yet either, so his raw HP is a little bit lower than normal. But he's just going to be in the area that way if Nyx can pings, he knows where it is. But unfortunately for them, VP spots this out. And now his ulti's on. Still playing here. Sentry goes down. Ooh, this is tough actually.
Is he going to try to go for it?
Might get the ward actually. That was so lucky that the Sentry spotted it.
Sashla taking a decent amount of damage here from DM. It looks like they're thinking about making plays, but
Radiant's
again, they'll back off. And it just feels right now like Extremum, they're feeling a bit skittish. They don't know. Like, it felt like in the bottom lane, Shu and Melodra, they wanted to make something happen, but then they got a little spooked out. And now, you know, you can see Nightfall. He's got the Radiance online.
Yeah, he does. So they're gonna, VP's tempo is definitely gonna go up. Because they control the bot lane so well, now they're going to pressure the tower, dropping wards for this. I don't think Extremum wants to fight until they get BKB off Bloodseeker at least. Like, they're just now feeling comfortable taking
structures are fortified.
the disadvantage that they have with the timing that
Radiant structures
Ward's been committed down to the bottom lane. They've used the fortifications. Sashala's making his way over. Does have the Ravage to make something happen, but the tower goes down and they're going to immediately jump over here, follow up. Oh, look at that damage! Trying to buy a little bit more time. They'll use the dust over on the back lines here. Nightfall, especially, he doesn't want to just ravage the one here. In fact, he can't even get the ravage off because he's already dead. They'll find you over in the tree line. And now the rest of Extremum are just running for the high ground.
Crucially, he did not use Ravage though, so even though it was kind of a weird play, I don't know, they're like fishing for a potential fight, but like they talked about in the draft, like a couple rounds of Timber stuff and Tide will die. And the only reason that was even close to him surviving was because Coddle's been able to farm a mech with all of these creeps that he's been killing in the bot lane. So counter to Timber Saw damage, you just need more raw health. Mech accomplishes that, but just weren't good opportunities to Ravage there. He Ravages, he hits primarily a Wraith King and a Timber Saw, and his team don't want to follow up yet. So they net worth disadvantage now. They lose Shrines before the 20-minute marks. The level disadvantage is going to be pretty severe, but at least they open up the map a little top. And bad.
Yeah, it's a really rough game too when you're a Tide Hunter. Right? Pretty much the main source of you know, big team fight energy coming out. And yeah, you know, you can have a Storm that goes and zips on in, that's nice, but you need to have the backup, you need to have the follow-up as well. So it just feels right now that they're kind of on the back heels, and Storm hasn't been allowed to snowball the way that I'd like to.
He definitely wanted like 1 or 2 kills with the Orchid. So far it's just been farming with this. But there weren't the best opportunities. They didn't commit enough heroes maybe to bottom. I maybe would have liked to see them do like a smoke hero perhaps. The downside is, again, the other support's like a Coddle, right? So maybe they move Coddle over and try to get a kill, but it probably would have gone about the same as it did when we started to help too much. And they didn't want to put Tide or Bloodseeker into these ganks, because then if that fails, then you're not getting as much. Kind of just playing the semi-passive route on their side, and once they get BKB.
Sashlo, they spotted you with that nice ward over on the side. This is going to be a very dead Tide Hunter. No one's going to be coming to save him as the tackles. Throw forth the Illusory Orb, and Kingslayer finishes up with that final hit. That ward doing a lot there.
Maybe a little crazy how far.
They no choose here. Where's the dust? You have dust. Save? Okay. All right.
Maybe they weren't watching. That was a little bit weird.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they're a bigger fish to fry.
Top tower is under attack.
It's a little hard. If they don't pop the dust in, like within like half a second or something, then it's not surprising that they.
Well, looks like they found themselves some bigger fish. Like we said, it is of course Nefrid here. He's gonna try to run away. They purge off the heal, and GPK finds the kill.
I guess he would have been ran down no matter what if he tried to not. Big kill. Bloodseeker have his beacon rolled away.
It feels kind of bad. It feels like he hasn't been able to participate in really anything going on. In fact, they go and they use the Serpent Wards, and that's a quick pick off on Shu. Or Keeper of the Light and Sasha, they can't really get in there. I mean, they could, but, you know, where's your damage? How are you going to do anything? You're taking wards.
They have that many dead heroes. There's no way. They almost have Blink Dagger on Tide, but he instantly goes up Solar Crescent. It's kind of reveals a slightly different anticipation of where the game's going. Kind of like Solar on Tide here, because it will give him some raw HP against Timber, which is okay. And using Solar Crest on... Nope, they changed. You go for Pipe. He went for Pipe instead, so a little bit different. But I think that's alright against Puck and some of the heroes. It'll help. It's not good against Timber, obviously, but it's not just Timber dealing damage. It's a rough game. Basically, VP got to do all the laning stuff that they wanted to. The Wraith King was more or less free farm. The Tide was more or less free farm, but so was Timbersaw. And then they just hit their timings earlier than Extreme. It's a lot more obvious, I guess, when you have a Timber and like...
Oh yeah, they definitely have been planning for that, the late games. That I think Kyle always talks about that, right? Is you want to make sure that whatever items you pick up, they are going to allow you to scale.
The other thing also is that Extreme, as was pointed out in the draft, they didn't really have very good tower pushers. So that's another disadvantage they had. Couldn't easily take the enemy tier 1, even though they put a little bit of effort into it, but because that fight went badly, that was like their window. They had to use team fight to take the tower, but they didn't crush the team fight, so taking the tier 1 tower was just not possible anymore. And because VP could, VP just got another map control advantage. That was part of the reason they...
A lot of people in the jungle here, friend. Careful, it does have DM to back him up though, Sashla. Alright, there's gonna be the rupture over on DM, so he's pretty tanky though. I don't think he minds too much, as now Sashla and Shoot, they're pretty far away from the rest of the team. The Ravage will come out, they're hoping maybe they can get the kill over here onto this Oracle, but they're not gonna be able to find it. Over on the back lines, DM is fighting and just going through, trying to run away here from Nefrit. He's taking a lot of time, they're not actually able to kill him. In fact, Nefrit, he's BKB'd, he's gonna have to just teleport out here as GPK, Nightfall, finding the kill on Shoot. They turn back around to Sashla, he's already used that Ravage down. He will fall. That was all over the place. My goodness. And just right into the Roche pit. In typical VP fashion, they just take these objectives and immediately go for another one.
I think the perfect demonstration of how that fight went was Bloodseeker popped BKB and he slapped Timber, but it just didn't matter at all. Ravage was okay, it hit the Oracle on the back, but Storm must have been somewhere else. Was not able to kill the Oracle, and everybody just kind of got picked off. So Bloodseeker just does not feel as effective here as Wraith King. Yeah, he stabilizes lane well, he jungled well to get decent net worth, but like the hero just feels hard to teamfight with until you get a BKB, if your opponents have like any teamfight at all.
I think also the thing, where are their stuns, right? Stuns, just any sort of lockdown would be just so nice, especially, you know, trying to get into these backlines, trying to do a Kingslayer. And yes, you know, you have the pull from Storm, you've got, you know, the Nyx, but there's only so much that these two guys can do on their own. And they have to go through a lot of things in order to get to the back of Kingslayer.
Radiant's top tower.
Some way Shaman kind of acts like Oracle. It's like you, as long as he doesn't get disabled, he's going to save whoever the enemy team does go on. He'll drop the Hex or Storm, hoping somebody bottom. It does end up being K. Out of Yule, so
Dire's bottom tower
they'll invade a little. At least right click is pretty solid, but Alstrom does not compete with what Wraith King is doing. Ooh, they have a gem now. He's trying to close this game out.
Found the opening. Nefrit's getting recalled. It looks like they'll go, and they'll just have to be happy with taking down. But that's one scout no longer on the map. Successful Mo coming out.
Not really sure. It's hard. They have to win a fight, obviously, but I don't really feel like Tide's items really do that much outside the pipe. The pipe was kind of good, but like, the fight's just not close enough. BKB gets used on Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he had to run away there. And now we've got our own BKB over on Nightfall. Sasha needs to be careful.
Oh, is there a fight happening? A skull.
Oh boy.
Okay, he did not. I don't think he had to use his Wraith King through a stun from high ground, and he got scared about follow up. Because if Shaman is there, he could die. Like if there's a Hex follow up, he dies.
Yes.
So he popped a BKB, and now they definitely want to. It's hard. I definitely feel like Storm has not accomplished much at all this game. Aimed okay. He got Orchid, but because they didn't take the tower, the enemy tier 1, and they didn't invade the jungle, it felt like fighting into a VP was hard. The like only place they could space or look was their own safe. But that's really hard to do. There's so much space. Hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills. And saw that double kill. Then it's just VP. It's hard to like get into those kills marching forward, getting lots of advantage.
Well, I like the idea of the Storm is good. Have an Oracle that the back line, but I just feel like, and again, some of this comes down to the itemization as well, but hold that thought, Sashlo is just going to get held in place. He's trying to taunt his way out of this, but he is going to get taken down. That's going to be some more bones over here for Nightfall. If they end up winning this match, always a good feeling. But the pressure is on now here for the tier 2, and I don't know what EXTREMUM really does here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Not looking good. He's got Ravage when Tide comes back up. He does have buyback here. Sires.
Radiant's
everybody's hitting buildings.
Radiant's
Push out the
middle tower
fortification.
is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, there's 25-minute runes up. In fact, GPK runs right into Nefert here. The pings are coming out. The more time waiting, Rift will silence him as the rest of the team... Oh, the Dream Coil does not connect. A little bit off there from GPK, but you know what? The rest of the team is on their way. Can they get the damage off on him in time? No, they're not going to be able to. He's going to get recalled safely to the loving arms of G, who says, don't go over there. That's dangerous.
He's playing pretty safe for Bloodseeker being there. But I think he's worried about maybe Storm showing up as well. Storm was there and definitely could have been... Oh, he got the
flamethrower, yep.
All right, so I looked at the numbers the other day. This actually could do an insane amount of damage. It lingers for 3 seconds, so it's like, it could last for like 10 seconds on somebody with 900 magic. That's a lot.
That is.
Not very good against Tide because he's got a pipe, I guess. But it also slows people by 30. Maybe he's just buying it because he's ahead and he's like, I want more damage, more easy damage. Like rather than buying Ags to get more Tarkam damage, just buy the shard, you know? Creep waves with it, it costs a lot less to clear a creep wave than use 100 mana. What? Never mind. I thought he was going to flamethrower there.
Now
he will do it. He could have just used that by itself instead of using it. But yeah,
he
can clear waves a lot.
It's way more fun to Timber Purge, you know, without all over the place. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, as everybody.
Fire.
It's funny though, because it doesn't burn down the trees. He is Timber Saw, but the Hex is out over here in the mid lane. Big crits coming out here from Nightfall. He's going after 2. Like they have the vision here. Kingslayer will get saved up by his own ultimate as Melody has already popped the BKB. He's forced to teleport out. They will be able to finally take down 2. Now they're on the hunt. They're hoping maybe they can grab Sashlo here. Okay, looking for the opening. He's going to jump forward. Finds himself a Keeper of the Light. As the Hex comes out, they drop the wards right in front of the base over here. And they'll get the kill on Sashlo.
Ward trap on Tide is actually a great counter. Cables are going to get removed with Kraken Shell, but now his way to get out, it's like he's got cogs. You have to hit twice to escape, so it'll use. But yeah, the EXTREMUM just showing how far behind they are. They committed Storm to jump in to try to kill the Oracle, but he couldn't get him. Oracle didn't die in the burst. He gets False Promise off, and good luck. He might have even dispelled the silence or something. Because I'm surprised he didn't die to Orchid. Maybe he channeled Fortune's End on himself, knowing he's going to go on him.
That's possible.
I've seen that play.
Like they'll turn their attention now to the top. EXTREMUM's just gonna have to kick back a little bit in the base. They are coming forward though. Have a couple smokes going, hoping maybe they can get the wrap around. They'll be able to stun up Nightfall. Nefert coming forward. Sashlo getting into position. They need to be careful though. Try to just Sashlo before he can get that Ravage off. Here on the ground, we'll walk into G, throws out the Hex immediately. Nightfall running forward. Nice waiting rift here coming out from Puck. They'll be able to use the Dream Coil as well. BKB comes out, but Nightfall doesn't care about that. He's doing so much damage. The snap comes out. GPK gets the kill over onto G. Now they'll just keep focusing down over here on the Storm. Be able to take down 2. Sashlo got the Ravage off, but it doesn't do much of anything. As EXTREMUM just gives up, they throw in the towel and call the GG.
That was the insane desperate move of a team that has very low chances of winning, but certainly the best way to do it is not walking high ground to your tri-camp when your opponents were just there. It's kind of suicidal. You can't go, and you can't leave with Coddle. It has to be like Tide or something, but in reality,
should be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me. Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. had the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change. Our roads were lined with adventure, mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand, open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I still hear you in the breeze, see your shadows in the trees, holding on, memories never change.
Five seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Virtus.pro's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Virtus.pro's turn to ban. Radiant team pick. Virtus.pro's turn to pick.
Keeper of the light.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Turbo Shaman.
In the second game of this best-of-3 series, we need to see EXTREMUM step it up if they want to have any hopes of taking a game of VP in this series. And we know that it is a tough challenge for them. We heard G say it in the interview beforehand. They consider Virtus.pro the strongest team in the region, alongside with a lot of other teams and players as well. Let's see if they can do it, though. We're heading into the draft. We're joined by BSJ, Capitalist, and T-Governor here with me as well. And we want to know if the Timbersaw ever sees the light of... Oh, no.
Hey.
All right.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Okay, so the important question to me right now is simply, in this lobby, was EXTREMUM choosing Radiant or like pick like... Again, we don't have that information right now, but I'll look into that a bit, because if I was EXTREMUM, if you're second pick, you don't have to ban the Timbersaw, because you have that one opportunity to cover yourself with the Ursa or the Monkey King or something.
Yeah.
So they've kind of actively chosen to play into it once again.
Yeah.
They have a plan. That's what that tells me.
Is that plan even any better? Because I
specifically
you're talking about Mars was
Yeah.
not going to get picked because of the fact that Timbersaw, you know, is
10
already picked up by
seconds
VP.
remaining.
Well, now they're just like, okay, well, I don't know.
Okay, so using the points from Brian
5
in his little
seconds
Weatherman
remaining.
segment, we have to look towards what was Extremum lacking in that previous game. It was instant tower pressure, but also the ability to defend their own towers, right? Kind of the summation of that.
Virtus.pro's
I
turn
need to see
ban.
them kind of add on to this because we could easily be going down the same line. Kotal and Mars have the same issues that they had in the first game with their opening. So
Radiant
bit of tower
team
damage,
ban.
bit of towers defending, maybe.
Here's the problem I see is the last game they did the same thing for Extremum, where the second round of bans they spent on all these carries that they didn't want to deal with. And here, I'm more concerned about heroes that stop you from killing the Timbersaw, like the Oracles or any counter
10
initiation
seconds remaining.
supports. Like, rather than worrying about another hero you can't kill, you have the
5
second
seconds
round to
remaining.
respond directly. Say they pick Jug. You know, you can pick Ursa or Troll, some heavy physical damage carry that will deal with him later on. But right now, what I'm seeing is that Virtus.pro is being set up to kind of just pick unkillable heroes again. When, like, what I'm saying is you can't just win games by
Virtus.pro's
picking
turn
unkillable
to
heroes.
ban.
But when your early draft has a threat, in this case Timbersaw being unkillable, or in other drafts where you have early push, you can double down on that if the opponent's draft is vulnerable to it. Like, you can just keep
Virtus.pro's turn
dumping
to
it
ban.
on and say, okay, well, we have more stuff you have to kill. And Mars, he has limited damage output. I would love to see like a Phoenix for
Radiant
Extremum
team
with just heavy
Bloodseeker.
damage,
Oh.
please.
So they actually go for the Bloodseeker themselves.
It's a little weird, actually.
I was kind of expecting maybe just to go for the Oracle again. You know, it's pretty good in lane against Mars, and the idea of the game just keep it going. But okay, they go for the Bloodseeker.
Aggro tri-lane maybe is what they're
10
potentially
seconds
thinking.
remaining.
Bloodseeker is pretty strong tri-lane carry. Put the Timbersaw solo safe
5
lane against the
seconds
Mars.
remaining.
Maybe giving themselves that option. Maybe they're just doubling down on the lanes. Could be that simple as well.
Just think about how they played that previous game, right? It's the fact that you have the Timber Shaman gets freed up, suddenly Shaman's TPing to a side lane and applying that pressure. So I think it will be that dual lane to start, but it soon could unfold once you have that early level on the Timbersaw.
So the wild part about this is basically Virtus.pro have shown that they can play with this opener. This is the exact opener that they had in the Live to Win series, right? They had Coddle Mars, they got Timbersaw. And what they did is they Darkseered and Bloodseeker 3-4. And Virtus.pro just played the Timbersaw versus Bloodseeker and said it was actually good enough for them. Even though they won, they can also beat it. And now they're going to take the Bloodseeker for themselves to keep it out of the hands of it. I'm like a little bit confused where this whole drafting is.
It led to an
lot of damage.
OD be picked up.
Radiant team pick.
That's
Crystal
one. And the
Maiden.
Crystal Maiden coming out for Kingslayer.
So yeah, VP really making sure that they have strong lanes. We've seen this in other regions as well, where it's like CM plus any early nuke equals strong tri-lane. And this is where this could easily become a thing where Timbersaw gets a freed up game. I like the fact that Extremum do pick up this OD. I
10
think
seconds
some type
remaining.
of save, some type of kind of nuisance factor is very helpful in their
Radiant
lineup,
team back.
especially when VP looks like they want to fight. They now go for a bristleback. Again, picking up these strength areas into the Timbersaw. It is very interesting, but I think it's somewhat covered because of the OD, where you potentially can play around that in prison, try and push away the Timber, but
10 seconds
I think
remaining.
OD is worse against Timbersaw now than he used to be.
Mhm.
Right? He still it
5
represents
seconds
pure
remaining.
damage, but now it's based off of your mana difference. And Timbersaw obviously has ways to be able to get mana builds without intelligence. Where it used to be the int matchup was what allowed OD to.
Virtus.pro's turn to ban.
And it used to be that you would keep hitting the Timber and you'd do more and more damage to him, and that's exactly what beats Timbersaw. I would love. Do you guys know if GPK plays mid Doom? Is that a thing?
he has played it in the past. Don't think I've seen it recently,
I
but
see a lot of it in CIS. I feel like it's really good here. If they just remove OD or
5
Bristle from the
seconds
equation
remaining.
in any of these fights, then I don't really know what Extremum does.
Radiant
stack.
team ban.
That's what I've learned. If you have eye openers,
That's true. There's
Just
going to be a lot of
stack.
that.
I think the VP have somewhat soft covered themselves from the whole stat game in that previous series with the Live to an Empire when the Bristleback really kind of took off. It was simply because the enemy team didn't have much jungle invasion. But VP, they do have that
10
with the
seconds remaining.
Bloodseeker, the Timbersaw. They can kind of poke their head in and see what's happening there.
Don't they have like no lockdown?
They-
Isn't like Quap Storm like? Don't they have free
Yeah.
games against Extremum?
Yeah, they do. Extreme's going to have to reveal exactly what's happening here because, you know, there is potential of some quirkiness coming out. Realistically, it shouldn't. It should just be, you know, Bristle carry, Mars off lane, OD mid, and then picking up a position 4.
5 seconds remaining.
Position 4. Like, I think you need a position 4 that represents a lot of damage.
Yeah, Phoenix and Willow. Band out.
They could go complete skirmish and go for like a Sky or something where they just try and rip through their opponent, but that's so timer driven, and I don't like saying it, but
your Sky, Lina type heroes that are just Wind Ranger, that's another one.
Tusk.
Double save OD plus Tusk could be good, but I feel like you run into the wall of how do we kill Timbersaw again? Like,
turn to pick.
Okay, they go for a Rubik, sure. That is one of the position 4s that we forgot about, but very, very good, especially into Timbersaw once you get his spells. It is a great... You could spell to anything in this game and feel pretty happy on all these heroes.
Yeah.
But do they have enough kind of presence? I feel in early on, like their mid-game, the kind of the theory crafting, the 5-on-5 feels good, but like I think getting to that point, I'm still a little bit worried.
I will say Rubik feels a lot weaker since Arcane. I know people feel like the cast range is really enjoyable quality of life.
Oh, I like that.
New OD is basically playing like a Pugna, you know? And now, why not just pick the hero that you're trying to emulate? So,
I talked about Doom as a way to remove OD or Bristleback from the fights, but Pugna with his Pugna ward actually just removes OD from the game until he gets BKB. So I think the early momentum once again is going to be heavily in favor of VP. I actually like Extremum draft a lot more this time around than last game. I feel like they didn't have the tools at all to deal with their heroes, but you picked your win condition in the Bristleback into the Timbersaw. I really think this Pugna is going to go off. They don't really have a way to kill him other than the Mars Arena. And at some point, he's going to get 1 or 2 defensive items, and I think GPK is going to completely dumpster this game.
Will they get more than 4 kills?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
So enthusiastic.
Yeah.
With the added benefit of all that Pugna analysis, you know, like Bristleback, he just sits there and life drains and all that jazz, but then the added benefit of being able to have extra pushing. Right? So these towers are going to fall like dominoes the first time that Extremum.
Yeah, potentially I would like to see OD change up the build because when he goes for a Meteor Hammer, I have seen time and time again this Pugna just take every single tier 1 tower quicker than an OD with Meteor can, and suddenly feel out of place because you don't get to play the kind of new age OD. To maybe get away from the hammer, just play a strong independent game and try and become your own core, and then maybe shot.
Maybe have a good shot. Last draft you ended with sweep, swoop, swap, swap. What's this one?
Bippity bippity, VP gonna take it 2? Something
Prepare for battle.
Rhyme it, man.
All right, well.
Look at me. Don't rhyme, please help me.
We're not helping him. We're going to find out how this game 2 is going to play out very professionally without any... All right, over to Moxie and Purge for game 2.
I'm not sure what's happening over there at that desk, but I'm sure it all makes a lot of sense. Purge, they picked up a Pugna. What do you think? Do you think that GPK's Pugna's gonna pop off? Is this the elegant solution to the Bristleback like everyone keeps saying?
I think GPK can play anybody, and I'm confident in him, but definitely Pugna's solid this game. Pugna's really good against OD. In lane, he's effective. In the mid game, he's effective. Nether Ward's going to deal just a certain amount of magic damage. And yeah, he's going to be able to set a lot of tempo, certainly, because that's something that Virtus.pro doesn't provide. But one slight negative is that Nether Ward will be able to be killed by Bristle-type heroes. That gives him a little bit of a but I don't know, Bristles looked kind of strong as a carry. Comboed with Coddle, if you can get a lot of stacks going, accelerate your farm, and then for ability to right-click, stay alive, it all just provides a really interesting...
The battle begins.
They're gonna open up over here on Sashlo. Nightfall going forward though, grabbing up that rune. And Sashlo is going to be forced to use a lot of that regen early. Are they gonna be able to pincer on here? It's looking like they're gonna be able to do it. Shu over here in the corner. This is going to be our first blood. They're gonna let Nightfall just click away at him slowly but surely, and down goes Shu.
And crazily enough, Save didn't even have to skill an ability. So it gets to be flexible. That was a great collapse there. Lots of harass on Mars, and also getting a foot as perfect.
for value for sure. Now I'm interested, Perch. What do you think we're gonna see for the build for the Bristle? Seen a couple different versions of it now, where sometimes he goes for the heart, sometimes he goes for the Eternal Shroud. What do you think we're gonna see in this game?
Yeah, definitely kind of in the game it seems like. Obviously, you still want to buy your early survivable item, depending. It's a little different against Timbersaw because Timber has so much pure damage, so you can like, oh, Vanguard or well, Vanguard's decent against pure damage, raw HP and reach.
Oh, yeah, this is looking like a dead Mars. Kingslayer, just gonna give him a couple pokes here. Nightfall would love to get this kill, but of course, you know, is wasting a little bit of time. So it looks like Kingslayer is gonna be the one who gets to clean up on the God of War.
So probably Vanguard, maybe a Hood. Yeah, probably he's gonna need a Hood against Pugna. And from there he can be a little flexible. I think that's the best Shroud game, but Heart certainly sounds really good. Your Timbers get himself a lot of HP, a lot of regen. The guy that sieges.
Also, you know, you talk about the fact that Bristle is going to be the one who gets to run into, you know, fights and deal with another ward. But I kind of like the idea of the fact that by placing those wards down, it makes it so there's another objective. So he kind of has to turn and pay attention to it, not actually hit heroes, right?
Yeah, that's true. But right-clicking on Bristle is like a situational thing. Most of the time, you're just worrying about your quill damage and applying goo on relevant heroes. And then eventually, when you finally have an opportunity to go in, then you're gonna get like 4 hits on a support and they're gonna die. Right, like you don't spend that much time right clicking. It's playing the exact moment of the team fight and then going super aggressive when it's time.
You know, doing Timbersaw things in the bottom lane, just taking a lot of damage from the eliminate, but pretty content here. Doesn't have to worry. He's got his support coming right here back to lane. He TP'd out because he's a little afraid that Nefert was going to try to chase him down there with all of that lovely snot and bristles, of course.
And that's basically a perfect one. All the damage that Bristle's throwing at is physical. So not only does he get regen on Timbersaw, he's also heavily resist quill damage. He's got a magic stick, so good luck for Bristle getting kills. And there's maybe a chance to imp him up, and gotta be careful. At least he's got that call Bristle.
Yeah, it's definitely the dream here. Top lane, they're trying to make some plays over here again on Mars. Not gonna be able to finish up. BTK throwing out the taunt. I do like that little dance there, but he's got his bottle and he charge right back up again.
Pretty good for Pugna so far. 16-8 versus 8-6 of the Decrep, but you know, it's like the better version of Astral in a lot of ways. Attacking it all or harassing you, and in combo with a blast, you're doing a lot of damage. Right-clicking OD a lot is definitely, and doing just damage to him for Pugna is the way to play the matchup. I've actually played this one recently. Blast him on once you hit 6, he's got to play around your ultimate with Banish. It's a lot harder for OD.
Melojo's playing very aggressively.
Radiant's middle tower is
He doesn't
under
offset the
attack.
harass, he's going to get zoned out of lanes. Pugna a little low on regen though. The 4-minute is going to be big. Big fight though.
Slash low was getting a bit low there. Had a nice spear that was forcing Nightfall away. And it looks like we are going to see the rotation going for those bounty runes now. A race down to the bottom end. And you do have one of the supports rotating in the top. So Chu, not going to be lucky, but Meloju grabs himself up a regen, which I'm sure GPK would have loved to have had, especially because he's got that empty bottle.
Yeah, I guess GPK would have contested the bot rune, but there's no way he gets it against you. He would banish him, so a little unlucky.
They turn this around. It's a lot of damage. It looks like Save is going to be able to walk away from this, though. Couple of quills over here onto DM. He's got about 3-4 stacks plus the goo. Forced to just timber chain away, but they do manage to walk away alive.
Bad. Lane pretty much last hits and sides. Mars in trouble though.
He's done this so many times. It's actually ridiculous. But this time around, Nightfall is going to be able to jump right back in. Again, he's pretty fast though. This time, they'll finally be able to get the kill. I can't tell you how many times I saw the CM open up with the Nova. They dropped the Blood Right, dropped the Frostbite on top of that, and then just a spear would come and knock back over on the Blizzy. He's not able to get anything.
For the twins.
That time though,
For me.
they timed it right.
Pretty cool. It's the basic pickup. CM, that's good. It's Basie and it's Arcane Aura, so CM actually has way more mana than normal, and this also goes towards Bloodseeker, so combo, and basically they're just out harassing with spells, not necessarily right clicks as well. It's making the Bloodseeker look a lot more effective actually. It's like spell trade war.
I'll take that.
Coddle can give mana, but Crystal Maiden can also give quite a bit of it globally. She had that cooldown, right?
Facilitates Bloodseekers laner, but he can't reliably land Bloodright on most heroes, so apply both the CM abilities, yeah.
Yeah, looks like forced to use the Frostbite, but again, this Bloodright dropping down over on the ground will force back the two.
Left. Ooh, Bloodseeker can get aggressive here on the Rubik because everybody's low.
Oh, that was lucky from Mellow Jewel. He gets the Invis room. Chu, though, is getting chased down. It's a good spear coming out from Soshlo. We'll slow him down, but the... Oh, very nicely done. Kingslayer rotated at that time, and they managed to get the kill on Mellow Jewel despite the fact he had that Invis rune.
Is under attack.
Yes, I guess his HP, so they had vision.
Structures
possibly guess, but probably vision first.
Radiant's
and because he had vision and his opponent didn't, it was pretty... Really nice movement through. Leveraging the Bloodseeker really well here with all this constant fighting.
Very good indeed. I thought that he was free there, but of course Kingslayer was already chasing. Going on in this middle lane though. Again, Mellow Jewel, he's just getting life there. The creep's actually blocking a bit. GPK gets himself yet another kill here. Oh boy, this guy is popping off. G on the bottom lane though does manage, or rather, to the side gets a kill on save. And, DM again forced back a little bit here by Nefrit. Just has too many stacks, I think. All right.
Well, I mean, if he keeps Timber away from the creep wave and doesn't let him pick up reactive armor, that's where things get scary. He's got to have the reactive armor survivable. 7 will leave. Tower getting very low on the side, 300 HP. Dire Tower completely untouched, showing Pugna's advantage. This is basically where things look rough for OD. If he gets forced out of lane and his mid-tier 1 tower dies, he just doesn't get his meat. It's not going to come, and he's not going to find a safe place to get it. He'll get it eventually, of course, but like, look at the timing difference. Arcane boots on Pugna, OD's got no boots, still like, I don't know, 1,000 gold away from finish, 800 gold away. That's a tough circumstance. Now really easy for them.
I think we saw... Oh, hold that thought. Top lane, the arena gets used by Sasha. He misses the spears completely here. So he just stands in the middle of the arena, takes a look at Mars, waves at him, and says, all right, I'm done with the show now. I would like to leave. And he just walks away. Bottom lane, though. DM getting very aggressive here against G. Has enough damage with Kingslayer making his rotation to the bottom. They're getting dropped.
Only 8 minutes in. Pugna could rotate bottom if really. It's like what he's...
Radiant's bottom tower
like BSJ pointed out in the last Weatherman here. You don't have to wait
sounds
for
like an action
when you've got a
hero,
Pugna.
though.
Dire's top
So he'd already, when he missed the spear here, he'd already used his God's Rebuke earlier, then he dropped his ulti, so normally he would have been able to land that easily with the slow, but unfortunately because he saw that opportunity. Harder to hit, and he whiffed it. Pugna pressuring the bot tier 1. They're once again using Timbersaw to defend the enemy off lane to ensure that they can't offset this. The only way they can is by killing Timber. They have not very good heroes for killing Timber. OD doesn't yet have Meteor Hand, but his damage is not going to help. Bristleback does not contribute very much to killing Timber, and then what's left? Coddle, Rubik, Mars damage. Good luck, especially with a cloak coming out on Timbersaw right now. There's like guys here. Virtus.pro is just going to play the whole map. 4K net worth advantage.
Okay, first of all, before I forget, I want to see a clip that is just the last Weatherman. I want it to be like an action hero thing. Please make that happen, Purge. Thank you. And then moving forward, it definitely always feels like Virtus.pro. They play their own game at their own tempo. It never feels like they seem concerned about anything. They seem unflappable almost.
I feel like a lot of that's draft so far. They got this nice matchup with the Timbersaw. They got the nice matchup made with the Pugna versus the OD. And these kinds of, I feel like it was kind of similar story last game too. They had the hero matchups they wanted. It's hard for their opponent. So back Treads. Yeah, Treads, you got a Possess Mask. You're gonna swap that out instead of the Chip Vest, but he's got Hood as well, so survivable on Bristle. But if we take a look at his net worth, it's not even higher than any of the cores on VP. No Meteor Hammer here. Oh.
And look at that. There's so many heroes in that vicinity, and they just take a look at Timber, and they're just like, yeah, no. Let's just leave. That feels bad.
OD has less net worth than Mars.
It feels even worse.
You don't have to be a good analyst to say that. It's looking rough for OD here. He does have his hammer now.
All right.
But we're 10 minutes in. His tower's been dead for 3 minutes. Enemy tier 1 tower still unpressured. Shadow Shaman's been defending it by himself to catch up. game is like completely in.
He's fighting against the Pugna. I mean, that's normal. They might be able to go, yeah, they should be able to get this kill over here. There's channeling up the Meteor Hammer. GPK joining in. Stun lands over here, but they turn it right back around. They're forced to drop the hammer. Sandy's Eclipse comes out. They get the kill on safe. But now look at this rotation. Look at the aggression coming out here as they just use the Frostbite. They'll have to banish GPK because they can't allow him to just continue to run. And there it is, Sashla making his way over GPK. He's just life-stealing so much, but at the end of the day, not going to be enough because 2 managing to steal that life drain will be able to help assist and take down the Pugna. Be a little battery now. Give Mellow Jewel back some of that nice HP.
Him back up. It's a great ability. He's already got Spellline from Arcane, so is doing some big damage when he gets the life drains off. But great rotation. This is the one downside of being so far ahead is that you get aggressive and cross a little bit too far over the map, and eventually they're just gonna. Pugna is still a little vulnerable.
They don't have a Frostbite, I don't believe. Oh, but at the last second, the lightning proc. Coming in hot.
He doesn't even have Rupture skill. 4 points in Blood Rage, so 30% Spell Amp from these hits, and a little bit of a.
Dire's bottom tower is under
This is
attack.
how you farm fast. Blood Rage maxed out every point, and it gives you 30 more attack speed. The fact that he's got Maelstrom this quickly means that he's gonna farm way faster than the stacks Bristol had, if there were that many.
Actually, not sure how many stacks they had. Okay, there we go. Oh, Rubik. Very stacking those camps. Very nice too. Excellent. What I like to see from my supports.
But Tier 1 tower is still very alive. Timber again just parks his butt here and makes himself the wall to his tower alive, and therefore control of Extreme. Means that all they can do is their moves are basically like push out mid to get a little chip damage, try to dive top for a fight, or invade your own jungle to try to take an engagement.
Dire's middle tower
Look at the vision.
is under attack.
Real good for V. Doing the smoke.
Feels like they know, right? Feel like something's off. They are grouped pretty close. GPK is going to get revealed here. Jewel, they'll turn their attention. They realize the support will be much easier. The Hex will come out. They'll turn back around. Can they get this kill on the OD? They'll be able to find the kill on save. OD buying a little bit more time. DM throwing out the chakra, trying to get enough damage. That's not enough to keep him alive, though. It was a nice try by Chu. As now DM throwing his weight around. Look at Kingslayer. This is a brave Crystal Maiden, and this Rubik is not looking too great. He turns right back around again. They get the Rupture off, though. Can they finish off Chu? Yes, they can, and now they're chasing after Nefret. This is a Bristleback. They're trying to do everything they can. The spear comes back out, but I think he's going to be allowed to live for now.
Okay, they're going to draw him to the top lane. This is a decent move. A lot of their opponents are bottom. Not too many of them used, but at least they'll get some pressure. But we're really seeing the advantage of the Pugna here. As long as he doesn't get caught there, and he's fast as hell, he's only made of bones. Accelerate faster, that's how it works.
Are they hollow avian bones too for just that?
Man, hopefully not. Kind of a squishy hero, but...
yeah, that might be why. Hollow bones.
They win the fight. Oh, he got a movement speed as well. He's all about, he doesn't care about his HP. He's like, just don't banish me and I live. So now the tower gets pressured too. They got the damage, they got the tank, it should die.
I don't think anyone can really approach this either. They drop the Serpent Wards. It's just too much push and too much frontlining coming out from DM as he was a big chunky boy here.
He has like Blink Dagger on Mars or something when they do that smoke. Completely different, right? You can blink it on top of the Pugna and kill him at the start of the fight. He's not going to make OD feel like useless.
Dire's middle tower
he doesn't even have Nether Ward yet, by the way. So it's just going to get worse here for the OD. And
so much fun to see the way that these ports rotate with GPK. There's definitely a lot of trust there and definitely a lot of practice. It's like when a Crystal Maiden is just running at you because they know that their core is going to back them up. Even if they die, right? They know that they're getting a value kill. Like, you got to be a little bit worried. That's like a crazy-eyed Crystal Maiden running in there with blood in her eyes.
Yeah, it's like she maxed out Arcane Aura, just constantly really effective. This
Radiant
Bloodseeker.
Scanning.
All these guys love mana.
Come on, Sashlo. It's totally safe. Only it's not. It's a trap as he gets immediately blown up. They'll be able to go grab a bounty rune and start chasing after Nefret. Now, granted, they don't have anything to hold him into place right now, so I believe Nefret should be absolutely fine, but that was some big muscle coming through here.
It was. Bristle still kind of wants to get a Radiance here. Took a small step back into Sange with a very good item on carry Bristle just because the status was the raw HP at the extra read. but he's only 16 for gold towards his relic, and yeah, Radiance will be nice, but timing that it's going to hit is going to be much slower.
We've got BKBs coming. Well, so like a lot of the magical, yeah, we've got it over on Nightfall. Nightfall's just going to be running in and out of these fights. This OD is even more terrified, I think.
Not a lot of good solutions. Again, as the hero to be effective, you have to banish and get Meteor Hammer kills. It's that threat, basically. Make your opponents. But I don't think they haven't scared yet this game.
Look at Save. Just runs on in. She's trying to get through here. I think he's still dead, though. One more hit off. He's forced to use the Fairy Fire. The Crapify coming out from GPK, throwing out. Oh. No, he's not going to be able to finally get the hit on him. They're going to fight around the wards, though. PK trying to run away here. Does manage to get the Crapify off. Save turns back around. He's going to hold the OD into place as he waits for DM to join into the fight here. Gonna get banished for half a second. Save diving into the trees though, as there's a whole other fight. GPK does get taken down, but they need to get over there. They need to help Mellow Jewel. They're not gonna be able to as Nightfall jumping back into the fight here. We'll be able to find the kill on Sashla. Kingslayer is just gonna teleport out. They call in Rubik. I don't think he wants to be here there, Coddle. I think this is pretty scary, but Nefrid, you know, he's throwing out all those quills. He's getting a decent amount of damage. Nightfall sitting very, very low. Crystal Maiden's gonna let it go. They hold him over into the corner. This is not looking great now for Nefrid, as there's just so much damage, but he does have a lot of quill stacks up and running. It's not gonna be enough as he does finally go down to DM.
It looked so good against the Bloodseeker for a moment there. That lift up, that great whirling death in a bunch of trees for the from the Rubik got him low, but they just didn't have enough follow-up. They lose it by the end. But they pull OD in instantly. He's looking for a banish. Can they get this one kill? No.
Oh, they can't. And Kingslayer, he turns right back around, throws out the Frostbite, and I talked about this. This is just, I don't want to say a nightmare, but the fact that you have this Crystal Maiden who just feels that confident, not something you usually see. Or when you see it in your pubs, it's usually feeding very badly.
Yes, but he knows his limits. He's 4-0-7 on this game, by the way. Hey, but on the bright side, EXTREMUM did pass their goal, right? They're above 4 kills.
Right.
5 kills.
Ooh, there we go.
Maybe,
you know, every day
like
a little
7.
bit better than the next.
I do kind of like this mech that I picked up. He's under bit advantage. Pretty effective. It could have been a Glimmer, of course, but during that Glimmer can be a little iffy at times, and burst heal on everybody is pretty good, and mech isn't that expensive. We'll think to buy right away. More armor to the heroes. Like an insane side.
I don't know. I think Save is starting to become one of those heroes that's just trying to go for the solo, because you saw the way he dropped those Serpent Wards and was just manning up down there.
He's been spending a lot of time hitting.
Oh, well, they left the Imp Claw behind. Uh-oh. Hey, it's a free item is a free item, Purge, all right? Never know when it's going to help turn the tides.
I don't think it's good on any heroes except for...
No, Mellow Jewel. They'll turn their attention to 2 instead. Hex comes out, Frostbite into Blood Right, into Shackles, into Life Drain, and Nightfall gets the final hit.
Dire's structures are fortified.
See if they pick up the fast gem quite yet. A little unnecessary. They've really contracted the map.
God.
Find places to farm just like this.
Forced to use the Astral. Looks like they'll respect the fact that Sashlo makes his own rotation here to protect Mellow Jewel. Otherwise, I think they definitely
Radiant's
stick
middle
to that.
tower is under attack.
Still really good pressure. Forcing their opponents to think for game. Rupture top.
Yep, Nefrit. He's got a teleport, actually. Although you have to be careful, right? Because the Crystal Maiden does have a way to cancel out these teams. Sashlo, though, going over to the high ground here with me. It's just not doing anything. It's just keeping them. They actually want to just stand there. They're not too concerned about it. Slayer taking a bit of damage. Life Drain coming out over on the back end. Chu joining into the fight. DM over on the side, too, is trying to drain off some more, but not going to be able to do it as he just starts dancing around in circles. This fight is just all over the place here for EXTREMUM. DM finds the kill on Chu. Oh, and they'll be able to grab up the bounty rune. Nefrit just trying to run away. DM sitting on the high ground here. Will Timber Chain down. Bloodbright comes out. It's another punishment coming out from the OD as he's trying to buy some more time, but he's not going to be able to because they're already in position. Look at these shackles coming out from Save. He's just taking a bath in this chakram, and down goes the OD. GPK did fall up during all of this, but Nefrit is the only big boy here who's able to run around. Looks like they will force back Nightfall. DM taking a bit of damage here. Does have the Timber Chain, though, so these spears just aren't going to connect.
Try.
Keeps on running away.
It just feels like it's not that effective right now. He was able to kill the Pug, run him down. That part was good at least.
Alright, Timber chaining through with that rupture over here on the Mars. They trying to jump in here. We'll get the shackles off over onto the Bristol, hold them into place. Allow them to just walk away here. Save, although Nefrit seems like he really wants to kill. Needs to be careful though, because look at the high ground. Look at what's coming for him. The Hex comes out. They've got the Glimmer Cape. They'll turn it right back around again, holding him in place with the Serpent Wards, with the Crystal Maiden ulti. They'll get the kill on him. They'll Timber Chain forward. They'll get the kill on Chu, and it doesn't feel like they're done yet. They really would like to grab G here. They just need some good Timber Chains coming in hot. Look at this. He says, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to get out of here alive. Tries to TP. Cannot do it. Too much damage. Triple kill here now for DM.
Well, I mean, the fight ultimately started. The rupture was wasted on Bristleback, so EXTREMUM said, we need to go fight. Here's a small advantage. They won't have an ultimate, but the Mars initiation, when you invade it's kind of like last game slip. Invade this Pride Camp area of your own jungle, you have to show like a really good show of force. And it was a little bit disjointed and made that fight a little wacky. And he obviously also speared a Pug, not help. But after that, it's basically just Virtus.pro running circle around EXTREMUM. Hard game.
Very wacky movements and whatnot in that last fight. Felt very split up the entire time. Looks like they're gonna make the plays on Kingslayer. If the BKB's out from Nightfalls, he's just chasing down into Sasha. Plus the Chakra doing way too much damage. He goes down. They do manage to finally take down Kingslayer. As now Nightfall, bigger fish to fry, finds himself Mellow Jewel over here, getting some of these nice procs. Timber Chain though coming forward with the Chakram, and they're just chasing after EXTREMUM, forcing them back. They'll turn their attention now right back around here on Mellow Jewel. This OD has not had a game at all. As down he goes again.
He had a small moment there that looked good. The BKB in and on Bloodseeker, he was going to get banished, but then this Manta's ready. He pops Manta. He even microed away an illusion, not his real hero, just to play it up. And at that point, OD just has to run. He doesn't know which one's going to be real, and he just gets run down. Bloodseeker's net worth continues.
Radiant's top tower.
He's got twice the net worth that OD has. Possible to play from for an OD. OD's already looked like an iffy hero, but certainly when you get beaten in lane this hard and the map gets hero looks garbage, comes a lot of other mid. This game is a perfect thing. You gotta be really careful. An OD early.
Double damage!
Like Virtus.pro is taking more and more of the real estate, branching out a bit more.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
On high ground, Nightfall's just walking right on in, and look at the way they're rotating. Look at this movement. They're just, it looks like a, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but it looks like a pod of killer whales just going after like seals or something, the way that they're sweeping and just forcing them into the small contained area. And look at this, they're running into the tree lines. I would not be surprised to see them teleport just out.
Might wait for a bit just to like say if Save walks forward and hits a creep wave. Oh, they're not here. Oh, this is gonna walk into him.
Save, do you know what's there? Walks into Nefrit. Gets the Hex off, immediately gets lifted up by you, but he blinks! Save God! This kid's got moves.
Bristol wasn't watching, didn't
oh no! But he drops the Serpent Wards!
It's fine. Honestly, it's fine.
He drops the items too.
Like, come back out of your hidey hole. Yeah, no damage dealt. And then after the lift, they lost vision maybe, so, or they didn't move fast enough. So. Small mistake. They should have had that kill, but it's okay. It's not really okay, but it's okay.
You sound like a dad who's very disappointed in his son at soccer practice.
There's the lift. Needed to nuke him here for sure, but yeah, just small hesitation.
Yes, not.
Out there invading their own jungle on EXTREMUM though.
That look on his face like, oh well.
Control, they've got bounty runes in the bot half the map. Possible to get some bounties. And this courier at?
Pressure again on Sashlo. Mellow Jewel though, puts him in the bubble. All right, allows him to get out. Standing over on the side, Kingslayer says, "Oh God, you dropped this. Don't worry, I'll help you. I'll pick it up." DM getting the final hit.
Bloodseeker reading that fight really.
Very well. The Hex comes out, the slow, followed up with the life drain. He's very tanky. It's actually pretty ridiculous to watch him right now. He joining in. He says, "All right, well maybe I can get the coddle." Do a little more with that. Up from save now.
Bloodseeker basically just anticipating his opponent to make moves like that, and he ruptured the first guy he spotted. Why that made that. But Bristle is getting pretty tanky. We gave up on the Radiance long ago. He went Hood, SNY. I love Quicksilver, Amulet. Attack quickly. And now he's going hard afterwards. He's raw HP to survive against Pugna, against Bloodseeker, against Timber.
But my question now becomes, like, does he have enough damage, like, coming out from the rest of the team? Because poor Mellow Jewel, oh, hold that thought, because DM is just yo-yoing of death over here. Immediately throwing out, gets the whip out, as it goes through.
Generally does, yes, have enough damage. His levels are a little bit low, but the nice thing about Bristle is that not only do you do a lot of AoE damage, but you do insane single target damage when you cast a lot of spells. Obviously, hitting level 25 makes that even bigger. You get that Warpath damage per stack, and then you have like 2 Divine Rapiers of damage. But for now, it's definitely a little up in the air. But he's got Dreads, he's got the Amulet. Heart is going to give him a little bit more damage. Yeah, it could buy him time. But they have to not have grappled to armored like Timber, and they need to not be decrept and to not be frostbited or whatever. There's a lot of
so many things that he has to not do, Purge.
Team has to not be dead. Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Like a laundry. It sounds like those commercials where it's drug reactions, you know? Like, this drug may cause this. You know, that's a lot of things that poor Nefrit has to be able to do and not
Radiant's
do
middle tower is under attack.
to help win this game.
Heart's ready to go, at least. Gonna go walk on in.
Are scanning.
As one does when he's a bristle back, immediately disarmed. Though the follow-up is a really nice arena coming out from Sashlo, but the BKB comes out on the back line, so they drop those Serpent Wards. BKB gets popped up Mellow Jewel as well, so Sashlo first one to go down. They'll turn their attention now over to the Timber, or rather, to the Bristleback, and he's too tanky. They find the kill on save. Q already going down. Turn this back around. His Heart's doing a lot of work, but Mellow Jewels will pop. And now it's not looking great here for this Bristleback. The Blinding Light buys him a little bit more time, but the magic damage is there as the Crystal Man lets it go, and down goes Nefrit.
Yeah, that was Timber's saw, actually, though. Whirling Death, pure damage. That many
Radiant's
trees.
middle tower is under attack.
I mean, you can build against it with raw HP like they did, but that amount of disable is just... And it feels like the real issue is that, like, once the BKB ended for OD, Blood Rite is just too big of a threat. Like, OD can't just keep banishing himself. He has to banish and use Meteor Hammer, otherwise he's not going to be effective, but
Radiant structures are
it's really hard to find the right opportunity.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And I love how aggressive Save was playing there. Did you see the way he blinked up onto the high ground right afterwards, hoping he can grab someone else? A lot of confidence.
You have this network. You gotta make, though. Cool.
All right.
Items, spider legs. Dagon, a really good way to transit. You're a little squishy at times. BKB is going to help for Pugna, but once you get Dagon, it's just a lot easier to go high ground, because if somebody ever gets out of position, you just decrep Dagon them. They take like 1,000 damage, and sometimes they die, and then you're just high ground. It's a good way to close this game out as Pugna. Then up with another, and he's got Bloodstone, by the way, so he's got double spell amp, spell lifesteal.
He's got the Eternal Shroud. That'll be pretty nice since he has frontlining.
He's got 35 spell lifesteal, plus that's amplified by 30%. So it's like closer. It's like 45 close to spell lifesteal. Any damage he's dealt that he deals, he gets about 45 of that back. Good luck killing Timber.
Great. I mean, to be fair, it is looking scarier, right? It's more difficult to kill Nefrit. It took a lot of time during that last fight to actually slay him, but...
What's...
Radiant's middle tower is under
Mars's
attack.
initiations have... Not going Timber.
Yeah, DM is not concerned about this. Has the Lotus Orb on him. Oh, there's the Abyssal Blade. They'll immediately slow down Nefrit. Feels like Nightfall. Maybe looking towards the back lines here as he goes. He grabs up the Bounty Rune, has his eyes again on Mellow Jewel. Forces the BKB out, but the BKB comes out from Nightfall and he gets a nice bash off right off the head. Down goes Mellow Jewel. Sasha, he's got these arenas, but he needs just a little bit more help here, as it looks like to be able to take down Kingslayer. The back lines will also be able to find the kill on G. Pugna blinking forward here, trying to find the opening. Looks like they'll just turn their attention now to Nefrit. They know that he's most of the damage as he'll go down. Now Sashlo trying to run away. They're trying to get some body blocks off here. Safe, waiting patiently. Final hit should be able to come in from Nightfall as they go, and they grab him up. They just hold him for a little bit, and eventually down he goes. That was some playing with your food if ever I've seen it.
They've been playing with their food since the literal first fight at the negative 30-second mark. They are just all about doing it. They're outscaling their opponents. They can taunt all they want. They're playing fluent.
Radiant's
Pressure.
top tower is under
Now
attack.
they're going to go high ground. And the crucial thing about that last fight, itemization from BT. Obviously, the network is a lot of it, but Bloodseeker BKBs, and he just dives after
Radiant's
OD.
bottom tower
Ruptures
is
OD,
under
OD
attack.
uses BKB. He just doesn't care. He bashes him, prevents him from being annoying, and Timbersaw just runs at all of the other targets. He
Radiant's
used
middle
all of his
tower
effort
is
in that
under
first
attack.
fight just to kill Crystal Maiden. They
Radiant's
used
middle
Mars ulti
tower
to
has
kill a Crystal
fallen.
Maiden. But they're so far behind at this point that I don't even blame them for this last fight. But certainly, like some of those early mid-game fights have been a little bit weak. Initiations have felt a little bit. It's in 111 and 4. Maybe jumping the gun. It's hard to say, but it's obviously a very hard game.
Deepest thanks.
You wonder a little bit how much of it's starting to get like stressed, a bit tilt, right, too?
Yeah. But it's going to happen,
Dire
but
are scanning.
it's really hard against these really.
Illusion.
Radiant are scanning.
Brit, he's smoked up, makes his way over to the pit. DM will reveal himself. The rest of the team still smoked over here on the side. And look at this movement. Look at the way that they're trying to wrap around here. As Nightfall jumping onto the back line here. Will fight Sashlo. They want to just get rid of him. They don't want to have to deal with this arena any longer. The arena does come up, but doesn't seem like it really matters because the BKB is coming out from Nightfall. They go to get shackles off over onto the Bristle on the back line, though. Mellow Jewel waiting patiently with the BKB, trying to take down Nightfall. They drop the Serpent Wards over to the side. Q, though, he's going to go down, and looks like Mellow Jewel will be next to fall, thanks to GPK. And they're just throwing out the flamethrower over here on Nefrit, slowing him down, silencing him, doing everything that you said he just could not afford to have happen to him hurt, and down he goes. No buyback on the Bristleback. They call GG. They've had enough on the side of Extreme.
Yeah, good luck winning that game. Way too much net worth advantage on VP. Once again, the early game was completely decided by the mid lane. And in a lot of ways, Pugna is going to beat OD in the mid lane as long as you get hit by his nukes, and you're going to. He's got Decrep, he's got Blast, he's got right clicks that outrange yours. OD is not going to be able to win that matchup unless like you get roaming supports that go and deal with him to give him an advantage.